Okay. I'm going to start the medley right off the bat this time. Everybody who's here right now early, welcome. Oh, hold on. I'm in like a haze. I'm all hazy. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyways, everybody who's here early, welcome to Morning Medley number 204. It's Wednesday? It's Thursday? It's definitely Thursday. There's cars on the street. Wow, this week flew by. Good morning, Liana. Word up. I hope you end up enjoying the game, Cyber. From what I saw of the video that you sent to me, it looked really interesting. What is the what is the what is the protagonist's avatar in that game, Cyber? I couldn't make out what exactly was it. Just a hat and gloves? Did they have a face? Oh, word. Okay, that makes sense. Like Invisible Man, how he would put on the clothes. Persona 4. I only played like 2 seconds of 3. And that's it, actually. Why? Okay, so I remember getting into Persona would be an overstatement, but I remember playing Persona 3 when that came out. I and then I remember 4. I actually okay, let me back up because that's a flat out lie. I don't remember 4 even coming out. If 4 happened, I guess it happened within the Persona fandom in that community, and I just didn't see it. But then Persona 5 came out, and I feel like everybody all of a sudden cared about Persona. Why is Persona 5? Why was Persona 5 so popular? Can somebody act like that's not a there's no attitude in that question. Like, honest question. Like, why was Persona 5 so much more popular than all the other ones? Everything looks super stylish, and there's that big black and white and red aesthetic. Is that enough to make a game that popular? Is it? Is there really nothing else? Is Persona 5 so big just because of aesthetic? Because I. Hmm. Hmm. No. Leanna says they feel like the Persona games from 3 onward have been popular. That coincides with my at least my experience with the games, right? Because I didn't know that they existed until 3. I remember 3 being like a big deal to me and my friends. 5's aesthetic is so much different than the other 4 from an outside perspective, says Dar. Interesting. Whoa, weird. But is that what it is? Is it just aesthetic? Can we get a. Does everybody agree with that theory? At least everybody in this chat? Dart says they think. Liana still says that. They've all been. Oh! Hmm. Hmm. I just realized I forgot to do something. Okay. I heard that like in Persona 3, I think, to evoke the stand, they shoot themselves in the head, which is problematic to me. Hmm. It's not really that problematic to me. Also, I mean, this game came out a while ago, so I'm not saying that things being problematic are like time stamped. That, but I'm just saying yeah, sure. If that game came out today, I think people have stuff to say about it. It's a pretty old game. I remember my friend. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Stupid con stuff. All my friends love it because the anime character interactions. Hmm. Hmm. That's so weird, right? To me, it's weird that a game can become big off of the aesthetic. I don't know why that's weird because several games have done that. But like, if I'm trying for example, Soothsayer's like now five has actual guns and no one bats an eye. Hmm. Hmm. Persona 5 is really long. It is, or at least I've heard such. I haven't actually played through the game myself. Persona 4, you crush cards if that's more PG, family friendly. Listen, Nier, right? Like Nier Automata is a sequel technically to another Nier game, Nier Gestalt, and then technically that's like a weird quasi sequel to Drakengard 3. I'm not really gonna get into how like messy that narrative stuff gets, but Drakengard, I get. I mean, one can't really say they weren't popular games because there's three of them, but they weren't. I would say the fandom for Drakengard is it's very small, at least now today. Nier, even the old Nier, wasn't wildly some well loved and successful like timeless game, but Nier Automata was extremely popular, and I would say that Nier Automata was popular because of the main character's character design. I think a lot of people liked that, and I also think the gameplay was really interesting. I would say that the gameplay was really interesting, but it was a continuation of a thing that had been going on for a while, you know. Why does this feel wrong? Why does that feel so wrong? Okay, anyways, hi Jordan. I just feel like I feel like when Persona 5 got really big and I was looking at people play it, I just didn't get it. And I guess maybe I still don't. I never feel like the game is bad. That would be wild, right? Like, I think that the game seems like a pretty good game, actually. Like, music sounds great. Character design looks dope. Um, RPG and dungeon crawly and dating sim aspects of the game seem very solid. It just it just feels like people were treating it like it was like the game, and I just didn't see that in Persona 5. But I'm getting widely that it was just because of the aesthetic that it like looked like anime, and that's why people liked it. Um, people like anime. People like anime things. The most Persona I've played is Persona 4 Arena, the fighting game. That was fun. Word up. That's basically the lure, says Leona. Hmm. Good morning, Lindsay. promise. There's one route with teacher. At the end, I use social energy. You can date them. Ways at least. It's Chibi Lucy. Option though. Don't want to see your Super Jesse Bon Bon. You might have Chibi Lucy. Common chords. Common chords. The suicide imagery, but the implication that is like it's like necessary, says this in the context of the game, talking about how in Persona 3 you shoot yourself to in in the fighting system of the game, like in the middle of battles. Um, Word up. Um, I think why can you date your teacher? Says Dar. I mean, you've seen anime, Dar. If we're gonna say the game's like anime and then you can't date your teachers, then I don't know if the game's like anime then. Word, visual branding, says Lindsay. I don't know why, to me, aesthetic and visual branding are different, but yeah, I guess that makes more sense to me. There are some games. That's not an excuse, says Dar. Sure it is. Dar, come on. We talked almost for a straight hour in yesterday's stream about culture. Hey man, maybe your culture's dating teachers. I believe what the point was, like surpassing self-preservation, human instincts, and Hitler once said that he's black and white imagery because of how it was so evocative. Word up. Yeah, the thing is, I'm definitely not like pro suicidal imagery, but the point that was being made in the game was like you were supposed to be like shedding a mortal shell, kind of like your human instincts. I'm really not caping for Persona games. I don't really enjoy Persona games, but I don't think that it was supposed to be seen as like suicide as much as it was supposed to be seen as like breaking a shell and moving past a certain point. And I guess the game could have done that in some different visual ways. Maybe like instead of um, murdering yourself, maybe you just explode and all of your skin and bones go flying somewhere. I don't know. There's probably a lot of different visual ways to do that, but shooting yourself in the head was the one that they chose. And when I played the game, it didn't bother me. And thinking about it now, it doesn't. It still doesn't really bother me that much. I think I just did I think it was cool? I don't know if I think any of those games are cool, but I could see why people would think it was cool. It was like a more stylistic way to do a destroy your human form in order to unlock a different one. Um, God, that game is old, guys. We're talking about a very old game. I do want to keep that in perspective here. Never played, but I watched a friend play. I think it's too hyper slash dramatic for me, says Liana. Yeah, I just don't like them. I don't like the Persona games. And this is coming from somebody, keep in mind, that has not beat the games. I have not played all the way through Persona 3 or 5. But I correct me if I'm wrong. They're both pretty long games, 5 more so. But like, unless the game changes very drastically, like a third into it, as far as gameplay and the way it feels, um, I don't like it. It's just not a game for me. I literally have no idea what to do in the game, but people act like it's a dating sim. I mean, all of the Persona games. Well, I can't say all. The ones that I've played have like dating sim aspects to them, which I don't particularly like. I've never been a fan of the dating sim genre, and so rolling that into an RPG, like the option to like romance specific people, like with different dialogue options, like never appealed to me at all, even in the slightest. So I'm clearly just the wrong demographic for the Persona games. I think they're very good games that just are not geared towards me. However, Atlas did have a game called. I mean, the Shin Megami Tensei games are dope. Like, what was it? Devil Summoner, Demon Summoner, really really cool. Um, I don't. I do not like the monster design um, that they have. I don't like the monster design in any of their games. I know that's a really divisive thing to say because a lot of people play their games specifically for the monster design. I don't like it, and as a big fan of Capcom and Devil May Cry, I remember actually being very upset when I played Devil May Cry 3 because the same person that designed the monsters in Shin Megami Tensei games designed the Devil Trigger and Devil May Cry 3, and I thought the Devil Trigger looked horrible. And this is getting into like nerd stuff now, but anyways, play Persona if you want. Um, play Persona games if you want. If not, you're in good company, I guess. Um, oh, there it is. Changing topic for a second, I had a valid dream with you in it. Oh, a wild, not valid. That'd be a funnier sentence though. Visiting LA at a wedding or something, and you let me and my entire family stay at your place. This sounds like something I would have done in 2016. Everybody was staying at my place back in those days. Um, but it sounds like a pleasant dream. How much anxiety do you have that cyber is outside your window right now? Zero. It is. Hmm. Takes us beyond the digital realms, there's mysterious creatures, maybe that's why the direction developers wanted for the game. I don't know what you're talking about anymore, Diz. I don't even know what you're responding to as far as direction and developers wanting for a game. Um, I don't typically dream about people I know IRL. I usually have dreams about concepts and stuff, so it was a notable dream about me in a specific situation. Interesting. I'm kind of the same way. A lot of my dreams are just kind of like amorphous blobs of ideas and notions. They're not really like things I can remember, things that make sense with my eyes anyway. I don't consider including LGBT options in a game a direction as much as a courtesy. Oh. Hmm. A courtesy. Can you define courtesy? Can I get a definition of courtesy? I'm definitely not like coming at you, Dar. I very rarely courtesy. Like a favor? I feel like I'm probably defining courtesy in the wrong way in my head. Oh, you're fine, Chibi Lucy. You're not bothering anybody. if you're gonna let me project, this is Dar, onto this dude, and I live in this game vicariously through his life, why are one of why are one of my options a literal groomer before a man? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Mmm. Mmm. I hear what you're saying. Because it's a different type of game, right? Right? It's like a game where I don't know, I didn't make the game, but it's a game where assumedly like you are supposed to be projecting yourself onto this person. Right? I can only project onto this character under the pretense that he is heterosexual, which is just like inaccessible. That's a good way to think of it. It I would argue, maybe argue isn't the right term, I would posit that there are a lot, like, for example, Mass Effect. Have you played the game Mass Effect? Doesn't matter. If you haven't played the game Mass Effect, you're this person named Commander Shepard. It's like a space opera. I refer to it as a space opera. I've gotten a lot of flack for referring to it as a space opera. You travel space and it's very dramatic, so I'm going to call it a space opera. You're Commander Shepard, and you can make yourself look like whatever you want to look like, right? You can be black, you can be white, you can be, I don't know, somewhere in between. You could be light-skinned black. It's just a shader, right? From extremely pale white to, I mean, purple black. And so, whatever race you want to project onto the shade you've chosen, you can be any of these races. But at the end of the day, they make you a human race. And you can be the dude Commander Shepard, or you can be the lady Commander Shepard. And those are your options. And then within the game, everybody's going to always refer to you as Commander Shepard. You can't, like, really change your name. Because, I mean, there are books that tie into... There are books. It's not just games. There's, like, books. There's comic books. And whenever they refer to the main character, they're always just like, oh, Shepard did this. Shepard did that. And so, you can't change your name. But you can make choices, you know, that it's almost like Fable in that way. Like, you can make choices, and you can also make romantic decisions. Whether you want to romance this character or that character or whatever. And this actually bothered me. Not having a very clear plot bothers me. I actually don't want to make the game. I like very linear, like, hey, you do these things. We wrote this one story. You kind of just follow the beats, and then and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. I understand that this might make a game less appealing to more people because, like you're talking about, Dar projecting on somebody. Maybe somebody wouldn't want to play Mass Effect if the main character wasn't a woman, or maybe they wouldn't want to play Mass Effect if the main character wasn't a black person. But like, I do not care. If the game comes out and I'm playing as literally anything or anybody, I'll play the game and then it just kind of gets like, I accept the world that the game has made. I don't really want to like fiddle around with it. I don't need to project on the game character. I just don't want to project on the game character. I would prefer games I would prefer there be a game where the main character just is gay, as opposed to having like a blank slate main character where now I can like romance a variety of different people. But I understand that if they made a game where the main character was gay, maybe it would get heat. People would like be really upset in the same way that people usually get upset for things like that. And so maybe a way of including people without excluding it. I feel like some people are going to protest even if being gay is an option in the game. So I don't know, but I think that if it's not "quote unquote" forced on them, maybe it's like a win-win. But I just super do not like games where it's even suggested that I should like identify with or like live vicariously through the main character. I just want like a concise story, and if I happen to like relate to them or connect with them, it's actually pretty cool. But it's definitely not a necessity in my gaming experience, and sometimes can actually become like a hindrance. um, I keep saying this stuff. Yeah, Chibi's going in. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat. Chibi says, I totally get representation. How I thought it was. It is that during the game sexuality is just mostly absent, not important. It's not really acknowledged. So I feel it's straight because you can't take romance for something the guys. I feel like that's a decent point. That's a decent point, Chibi. But I feel you. People wouldn't want to play it because they have an option to be gay. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's people that didn't play The Last of Us. There's people that didn't play The Last of Us 2 because, like, Ellie wasn't sexy enough. So, the bar's pretty low, Dar. The bar's pretty low. I don't think a lot of people have perspectives worth accommodating, says Dar. Dar. Their perspective is not the important part. Their wallet is. I mean, if we're talking games and we're talking, especially like AAA games by big studios, it has nothing to do with like, you know this. I'm not telling you any new information. They don't care about the people's perspective accommodation. They care about whether or not they're going to get the $59.99 for the game. And if somebody says, ewy, nasty, there's things I don't like in this game, and then they don't buy it, well, then maybe that company doesn't make enough money to make a second game. You know, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just money. So, I'm not gonna put a moral stamp on most game developers. I mean, there's some things that are egregious, but for the most part, it's just like, I know where I live. Ellie isn't sexy. I only play games with the big. I mean, people were upset about that, Cyber. People were upset that, like, when they were I'm pretty sure you saw the tweets when people were like showing like the Ellie photos. People were like, "Ew, this is disgusting. This is supposed to be a woman." There was a lot of really angry men. And I was like, "Oh, that's wild." I don't know that I've in my adult life ever been like sexually attracted to a video game character, but that's a completely different discussion. It's like the protagonist isn't supposed to be projected upon. It's a dude to be played as, if that makes sense. No, Chibi Lucy, you're saying a lot of the same things I was saying. I like that in games, but I think that, I think that with certain gameplay elements. Oh. Ooh. I might have walked into a sticky little honeypot. Lindsay says, and I think that the crux of the issue, the fact that making a protagonist gay is some kind of drastic position and not just a very normal thing. I think it's seen as a drastic position because of the way society would treat it. Yeah. Right, and it's a two-way street. It's like maybe if there's more video games with gay protagonists in it, then it becomes more normal, and then people are more okay with it. It's one of those chicken and egg things, right? I'm never actually sure where I lie on that. I think I'm always a little bit in the middle. Whether it's like, if we have... If there is like music or movies that they're like, we can't star like a woman in the lead role of this movie, then nobody would see it. And it's like, well, if there's more women-led movies, it would become more normal and people would actually see that it's okay and you can enjoy those things. And then those movies would be more profitable. So the first few just kind of have to not do so well so that we can like change the public perception of something. Or there is another school of thought that's like society needs to change for media like that to be able to thrive and exist on its own. I think both things are true. I don't think any of the rocks really lie in one or the other. But yeah, I think that's why it's seen as a drastic position. To me, it's not a drastic position. Lindsay, to you, obviously it is not also, but to a lot of other people, it's a very drastic position. I mean, and at the end of the day, money's what matters. If all games were free, and every developer didn't have to sell games to stay in business, I think that we would see a lot of really cool, interesting games all the time. But that's not true. We live in the real world, and things have to make money in order for them to exist, at least in the video game business, in any business. So, yeah, I think that's what's happening. How many times have we seen games, Lindsay, and everybody, and movies, and TV shows that were amazing and said some really cool things, but maybe they came out at a time or in a society that just was not equipped to appreciate them as they could have slash should have, and then the thing just kind of died. There's a lot of things, like I could actually make a list of just personal things I've liked. Maybe that didn't, that had some like conceptual things that people just were not, sadly, ready for. Wowie. There's a Sega Dreamcast conversation in there somewhere. Someone has to be the first to do it before it's normal, says Lindsay. Yo. So if I had gay options, it would be like, what? But since there's only straight options, it's not like an aspect of Joker's identity, but a feature in the game. Oh. And I'm like, if that's an aspect of his identity, then let him date a man. I like Cyber's jokes. Okay. Sometimes society isn't ready for it, but specifically on that, on the Joker thing, I haven't played all the way through Persona 5. Somebody here has. Power to you. Long game. But I think, okay, let's say Joker. It is written. It is not. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the bio on Joker, but let's say Joker's straight, and you are controlling Joker, and so you can make options for Joker, but limited, right, to like heterosexual lifestyle. So it's like, yo, date whoever you want, but remember, Joker is straight, so just make sure that that person is a lady. That, what is that? Because arguably, every game kind of does that. Every game like gives you a set of amount of choices to make that still follow the rules of the reality the game has made, right? Like there are some games that will not let you kill innocent people. There are some games where you kill people constantly. Tons of bad guys. You like mow through villains. But then when you try to like turn your sword on like a good NPC or one of your allies or a child or something like that, your sword just kind of like phases through them. And it's like, it is breaking the game just to keep you in line with this one character's ideology, which doesn't, sometimes can be frustrating. You're just like, I don't care about this character's ideology. I want to kill things. I just want to kill everybody. Hey, what's up, Bacon Boy? But the game won't let you because that character is good. Then there's games like, Grand Theft Auto where you can go through the game doing whatever you want. You can kill anything, basically. What is that? Is there a gaming term for that? Where they like when you're a person who's commonly represented in the media and all around you, you don't think of yourself as like special. You think of, oh, for sure, I get this. Yeah. I've fallen into some blunders because I thought that my experience was very relatable when it wasn't actually. A lot of white people don't think of their race at all. I'm constantly thinking about being black. For sure. Same with sexuality. Okay. Like all options you get in GTA 5. Like, I don't know about playing tennis. Oh, I just didn't do that. There's a lot of options in GTA 5. That's Rockstar for you. So the romantic option to be straight is just normal to most people. It's not like a thing. Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. I hear you. You're saying truths, but the option to be straight is inherently inaccessible to me. Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Yes. It's like if people started to wear paper suits or something and that media joked on and stopped after a while because it's normal. What? Bacon boy? Sure. Oh, I see the point you're making, Bacon Boy. Sorry. I have like 4 points going all on the same highway. There's just different lanes, and for a second I was in Dar's lane. Hmm. Lindsay says, if you're not saying they're the same, I know you're not saying they're the same. You can't kill people is different from you can't be gay because one changes the entire moral alignment of a character. Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. I'm not saying they're the same. There's a lot of rules, right, in games that specifically will apply to one character. Um, that doesn't always have to do with morality, but has to do with that protagonist's ideology, like things that they would do in the game versus things that they wouldn't do. And you, as the player, can make choices. Like, you can technically make choices in Shenmue for the Dreamcast, but you can kind of only make choices that the main character and his character like would make, if that makes sense. So you're just making choices kind of out of a bucket of things that Ryo Hazuki would do, not necessarily doing things that I, Omni Rutledge, would do. That makes sense. Um, but Dar says, if you want me to relate to a character by putting my own choices onto this character's lives like a puppet master, it creates a huge disconnect for me to not be able to even think about dating a man. Because then I'm like, is it? It's not really my choice, is it? I think that. Hold on, because I hear Dar. Hmm. I think in Shenmue, for example, your dad gets killed and you can call the cops and the main character says no need to involve him in this. Thank you. Sorry, I knew only like one person in this chat had played Shenmue and would understand the specific reference I was making. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Killing somebody, killing like good people and kids in a game was an extreme um, example I was making, Lindsay. But it doesn't like begin and stop at killing people. There are a lot of specific things that you can and cannot do in a game. So while Dar can't connect to Joker because Joker can't date male characters, I think the it becomes weird for the developer because there's so many things that I, as a gamer, would like to be able to do in a game. Not because I think it'll be fun or like tee hee hee, I want to jump off of this like U.S. bank building and like have a parachute strapped to my back because there is a building in the game, and I don't know, that would be fun. But I think that for a protagonist, there's always going to be some form of, well, not always. Can somebody name a game? Because there has to be one. Can somebody name a game where there really is no character ideology, where you play on a completely blank slate? Because Joker's very clearly not this, um, which is what Dar's problem is with Joker. But can somebody like name some like Dar? Do you have an example of a character that is more like the chalkboard? Yo, I actually knew somebody was gonna say Second Life. Oh my god, I'm taking Second Life as a joke. Undertake or Undertale. Oh, Undertale. You laugh after it though. I haven't played Undertale, so I can't tell if you're being serious. Undertale. So you would prefer that Persona 5 were more like Undertale, where you could like date men and I guess give the character whatever name you wanted and go anywhere. Oh, word up, Dar. Okay, Dar just wants gay in game, which is fair, which is fair. I think then that's like a more simple argument. I think that's a more simple argument because I've definitely played games where like the main character couldn't do something that I do in real life and I want to be able to do. There's a scene in there's a scene actually in what's that game? Detroit Become Human. There's a scene in Detroit Become. Somebody actually came to this stream when we were talking about Detroit, and they were like, "Yo, did you play the piano at whatever his name's place?" And I was like, "Yeah," because so many games, guys, so many. There, the amount of times I've walked around in games and seen a piano and wished that I could play it, but thought that it was impossible to do. Um, because it was. There have even been times in some games where it's like there will be a piano and like maybe it's a first person shooter, so all you can do is like shoot and punch. But if you like go up to the piano and you like melee the piano, maybe it'll like do that a few times. And I thought that was the coolest thing. Like when I could finally do that. Just do that. And then there's a scene in uh, Detroit Become Human. Not any spoilers, just in case somebody hasn't seen it. But there is a scene where you actually do get to sit down and play a piano, and it was very very cool and fun for me. There's also a game that I'm playing now called um, Sky, and in Sky you can purchase a little piano and then you can play it. Like it like actually brings up a grid where you can hit the notes on the piano. And so for somebody that plays piano and Dar, as somebody who literally I've talked several times about how unhealthy it is um, in my life, how much I identify with being a musician, so much so that my self worth is tied to my ability to be able to create music. In games where there is a musical instrument on screen at any point in time and I can't play it is like upsetting to me. But upsetting in this weird way where I'm like, yeah, I understand why I'm not allowed to play the thing, but I would like to be able to play the thing. Now, I know that creating a system in which I can play a piano in a game and creating a system in which you can be gay in a game, one is arguably easier to create than the other one. Yours, most likely. And so, I totally get that. I understand what you're saying. You just, you want to be able to project onto the character of a game, or you're saying if the game seems to suggest slash allow you to in some way project onto the character, you would like to be able to project specifically you being gay onto the character, which a lot of games aren't doing. In the same way that I would like to be able to project myself being literally just a musical being onto the character, which, most games, if not all games. I mean, that's why I play rhythm games so much, because it puts you in that position. It's weird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this. I remember this cyber. Um, now I'm being asked to scroll. Whew. Payday 2 is an FPS that has a full functional piano you need to use to get a secret ending. Oh. See? Soothsayer very rarely comments, but when they do, it's always something dope. Thank you. I didn't play Payday 2, by the way. I only played the first one. I only played the first one. The second one was like free for a little while on it was free for a little while and I missed that. And so now I always view that game as being free. And so I view paying for it as having negative money. I don't know. I got really messed up on that, so I haven't played it, but that's actually really cool. In terms of customizability, uh-oh. Whoa, did that just flip upside down? Oh, whoa, did it happen again? The chat's upside down for me. But I'm still, it's gonna do that thing again, isn't it? Uh, stupid. Okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of the chat. Sorry. Customizability dating is just about all you get with Joker. I want to date man because within customizable things about him, I want an option that appeals to me. Oh. Word. Speaking of piano, I watched Tom and Jerry last night. It was Cat Concerto short where Tom plays the piano and just messes with him inside the piano. Animation used to be so good, says Liana. Ah, yes, the yesteryears of good animation. Tom and Jerry was good though. But yeah. I hear what you're saying. Game allows you to customize or project, I suppose. We game very differently, but I respect and see how you game. I see how you game. Yeah. Everybody games different. I think I don't project on characters. You know what's funny? In Mass Effect, you could romance whoever you wanted. Also, you could romance. You could be gay in Mass Effect. Just want to throw that out there in case that matters to anybody on the stream. But I'm gonna turn upside down in a second, so just don't freak out. Maybe it'll fix itself. Anyways, oh, it happened again. I'm back up. I'm back. Lindsay's saying, wait, Omni, you're saying you don't project on characters at all? I'm saying characters that matter in the story. Now, Lindsay, there's a game like, if we're talking games, technically, somebody can make an argument that Gaia Online was a game, right? And in Gaia Online, if you looked at my my avatar, it just looked just like me. I mean, or just like me at the time. It was like a little black kid with, it had like a bow tie and stuff like that. But I didn't view that as a game as much as I viewed it as a social space to like chat and talk to people. Oh, and while I was just talking, like Sky is the same way, right? Sky is like, I want to make that character, I guess, in some way like me because it doesn't feel like it's a narrative. It feels more like it's a social space. So I like bought a keyboard and stuff like that and did the whole thing. But in an actual game, it doesn't bother me that I can't project onto the character. And even when I'm given some options, like for example, what's a game where I've been given some, like Mass Effect, right? Like in Mass Effect, you can have options. I like didn't care. For example, you can romance like several different characters on the ship. I wasn't romantically invested in any of the characters, so I kind of just picked the one that I was already seeming to get along with, and then I romanced that one. I was like, okay, that's chill. But like, yeah, I usually don't. I don't put myself that much in games that have story because I feel like there's already a story, and I don't want to like muddle it up. You know, if that makes sense. I just wish people would give me a story. If Joker's going to be dating somebody in the game, just write them to have somebody they're dating in the game, and I will be fine. But yeah, I think I think there's a whole group of people that play games differently than me. There's like so many different ways to play a game, you know. So for some people, that was a weird sound. Yes, Diz, my phone does have an option to lock the orientation. The orientation is locked, which it's only YouTube that does that. Like my phone's orientation technically is not changing. It's just like something weird that just happened in the YouTube stream a few times. Yeah. Sky sort of does. I mean, you play it with your friends, but it feels so free that there isn't a forced plot. I'm sorry, I'm missing what you were responding to now. I'm sorry. Hmm. like to me, if we're talking about Sky, even if an RPG has choices, I'm just gonna Google the canon options. Ugh, I love you, Soothsayer. Uh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Same. If you looked at like my Mass Effect character, it just looked like the character from the box. When they like open up Mass Effect and you have like options where you can like, here's how my lips look. This is what color my skin is. I was like, no, I looked at the box. He looks like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick that one. However, if there wasn't an agreed upon like character, there wasn't like a trailer with the literal character in it. Um, then yeah, maybe I would choose something. But I'd already seen like story elements with this person in it. To me it feels like, when you're playing a game and like your wonky like avatar that you've created is in a cutscene and it like doesn't look right. It like looks weird because it's supposed to go right there. I like don't like doing that. Now, if the game doesn't give me anything, then I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Like for example, in a game like Sky or Gaia, you're literally supposed to like put a bunch of stuff on yourself, where you literally look like all the other people playing. Like there's like hundreds of people running around, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, we all start off with the default fit. It's more like an MMO thing. You're going to be representing yourself to a lot of other human beings. But when I'm only representing myself to a bunch of like NPCs in a scripted story, I kind of don't. I don't want, you know, I don't want to project on that character because that character's not me. They're already a role in a story. If I'm like on a game and I'm talking to my homies, it feels a little bit different, right? It feels different. Anywho, does anyone remember that game that went crazy on Twitter and that guy whose entire face was a hat and those kids were like enormous hands and stylistic anime choices and translated back to 3D? I can't remember the name of it. I don't remember that. Isn't Mass Effect that game with the booty facial animations? You're thinking of Mass Effect Andromeda, which got a lot of flack. Mass Effect Andromeda, which I didn't play, apparently wasn't very good, but the original trilogy was pretty good. I mean, one probably had some booty facial animations, but it's a pretty old game, right? Games are made by people, and someone is assigned the storyteller. Even though games ostensibly have more choices than the traditional media, the storyteller is going to be told. Yeah. But if there's no canon sexuality, then there's absolutely no good reason to limit the options. This I will agree with. This I will agree with, actually. But I agree with it, but I think if okay, so here's the thing that's funny about that, Lindsay, is in my brain. Sometimes in my brain when I'm playing a game, I know you're saying but nothing. I know. And what I'm about to say is not, I don't think in opposition to what you're saying. I'm just saying that sometimes the limitations a game gives you, to me, is translated as canon. If that makes sense. It's different, right? Everybody's writing style is different. But if I was playing a game where I had different romantic options, but they were all dudes and I was a dude, I would just assume that it is canon that this character is gay. And I'm allowed to romance a lot of people, but only within the constraints of like, if Joker, for example, if I was playing Persona 5 and all of Joker's options were dudes, I would just infer that Joker was a gay person. Um, I would make a canon assumption based off of the content that I was given. And so, in that same way, if all of the options were women and Joker's a dude, I would just assume that Joker is canonically heterosexual. Um, Whether that is canon or not, actually. Right? I guess you would have to ask the developers whether it's canon or not. It's really interesting, though. Oh, Jesus Christ. Canonically he's hetero because because he was married and had a wife and a kid. What? Are you talking about Are you talking about Batman Joker? Okay, if this guy's allowed to romance all gingers, a lot of straight people would still be alienated because they would never date anything but the opposite gender. Oh, so imagine how tired we are when there are no options to date men. Wait, let me do that again. Also, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dart. There's like two different paths where it's like Cyber's making jokes that are actually funny to me. But okay, Lindsay says really quickly. I'm coming back to you, Dart. Lindsay says I think it's funny that by including certain demographics, you alienate the ones that are always included anyway. I mean, yeah. I think it's from media to media. It's like a from media to media base, right? Like white people could feel alienated by I don't know Black Panther or something, and it's like yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's other movies that you can watch. It's okay. Um, but I think yeah, I think yeah, that's fine. It's whatever. Okay, but back to Dar. Okay, if this guy was allowed to romance all genders, a lot of street people would still be alienated because they would never date anything but the opposite gender. I feel like they would still be included, but that's my take. I'm sure that you're absolutely right, Dar, and there are some straight people who go like, why is there even an option to date men in this game? I would never do that. I think that there are some people that would do that, but I think that there are a lot of people also that would be just. I think that there are a lot of straight people that if there is an option to date same sex in a game, like there was for Mass Effect, I think that a lot of straight people would just simply not choose that option. They would just go, ew, icky. That's not for me. And they would go somewhere else. I think that those are the type of gamers that I understand. People that are alienated by the option to do a thing that they don't want to do feels greedy. But I don't think that that's all people. I don't think that that's all people. It would be kind of funny if that was like instead of choosing a difficulty setting, if you choose like you want to play in game mode. There's buy mode. It would be nice if they just had all the options, right? And then people could pick whatever little like hole they wanted to be in if people really that badly wanted to project on the character. But again, I know that I am maybe in the minority here. I'm maybe in the minority of people that really do not want um, to be in the game like that. I don't want to be in the game like that. Sometimes, oh man, sometimes I don't like it when oh, never mind. I'm not gonna bring that up. That's all I want. The option for sure. I would just say this as is. They shouldn't be obligated to put something in a game that appeals to every individual who plays it. Um, I'm gonna say Diz that a lot of people don't like that take. I'm gonna say I'm fine with that take. I'm gonna say I'm fine with that take. At the end of the day, developers are just making a thing, and if they make a thing that doesn't apply to or make somebody happy, those people are also allowed to be angry, and should kind of be the end of it. There was a really sad thread that was on this game called The Witness. The game The Witness has puzzles. It's like kind of like a weird. There's puzzles in the game, right? And not to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it, but there's a specific part of the game where color comes into play, like not very complex color theory, but color theory nonetheless. And people were complaining. They were like, "I am colorblind, and I love your games, but this game, up until this section, was great, and this part is just unplayable, and you can't skip it. There's literally no way to get through this for your colorblind fans." And that was the first time I'd actually thought about people playing games colorblind that weren't able to do complex color puzzles. You know, if there was like a color puzzle in the game, because color puzzles don't really happen that often in games. When they do, they're very simple. This one being a little bit more complex, I thought to myself, wow, yeah, how do they play this section? They literally can't. They have to either look up cheats, kind of ruining the game, or just decide that they don't want to play this game. And it was a very, very upsetting thread to read, but the developer did do, they did their best to make a good game, and at the end of the day, they're like, I made this game, and not everybody is going to be able to enjoy this game. It's really hard to make a game for everybody, and it pains me that these people can't play the game. But this is the game I made, unfortunately, for those people. And I think it really made me, because anytime a game comes out, people are going to complain about it. People will be upset that it isn't the game that they want it to be. And I think unless that's like the majority of people, it's kind of whatever. You kind of just at the end, if it's a game, if it's a highway or something, if it's something we do need, if it's like a public healthcare system or something like that, yeah, it should be able to, be accessible to all. But I think if it's a piece of art, if we're using art for games in this, um, I think both sides are okay. I think you can make an exclusive piece of media, or exclusionary, not exclusive. Are those the same thing? I feel like they're not synonyms. So synonyms. So I'm gonna say exclusionary. You can make a piece of exclusionary piece of art, and then people that are excluded are allowed to be mad about it. But until that excluded party um, bears any large influence over the producing party, then I feel like nothing really needs to be done. And I know that sounds really cold, actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, but yeah, kind of. That's what it is, right? Because if you make a piece of art and somebody feels excluded by that piece of art, or you do a piece of work and somebody feels excluded by that piece of work, um, I think if you as the creator want to change it to make it more inclusive, then I guess you can, but you don't really need to, and it's okay because people are just allowed to make whatever they want at the end of the day. And I know a lot of times we look at like Rockstar or Ubisoft and go, well, that's like a big corporation, but there's people behind that corporation. Somebody made the game because they wanted it to be like that, and we've all looked at games that we didn't feel included on the experience with. Maybe we didn't like it. Like me in Animal Crossing. I don't feel like Animal Crossing is built for whatever type of person I am. Oh boy. Okay. Dar says, Asians coming in hot. Cyber says, I hear you, Lindsay. I think media is trying to shift towards being inclusive. Last of Us 2 had a surprising amount of racial diversity, inclusiveness, and stuff that was extended in the game options. They gave you the option to restart cutscene that while it's happening, presumably because you might have missed something. Didn't they force you to kill puppies, then watch them? No, that's just what people are saying. They didn't force you to kill puppies, then watch them. I did play that game though, by the way, Last of Us 2. I did play it. I think for me it's annoying because we frame it in terms of inclusiveness, but in honesty it's more about, accuracy to me. The world isn't just white-skinned straight man. Shocking, I know. I mean, yeah. Um, for sure, for sure. For sure. I mean, I think that's a lot of people. Yesterday, I talked about how much I like Friends, and like I make jokes constantly about how like Friends is like a bunch of white people hanging out in New York, and through the entirety of the show, it features two black characters that only show up because they're dating one of the white dudes in the show, and so it's not accurate. Maybe, yeah. Lindsay is a good point. It's not accurate to New York City in the 90s, right? There was black people everywhere. So it's definitely not accurate. And I don't necessarily consider it being inclusive. But, oh man. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright. Last of Us 2 is good. Was somebody saying something bad about Last of Us 2? Come on, guys. Get it together. Anyways, Last of Us 2 is great. And I think the whole like inclusiveness versus accuracy is good and important. Um, like with Friends. However, oh whoa. However, I do think that I have to like sometimes when games are made by Japan, guys, Japan is not the United States of America. I don't need to tell you this. You don't need me to tell you this. Culturally, it is very different, and certain things that might be woohoo, great, great, great over here are not woohoo, great, great, great over there. So, also maybe take that into consideration as well. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. Cultures are different. Just because you're buying a game in I don't know San Francisco, California, uh, doesn't mean that the person that made it has any idea what your life experience is like. And so sometimes it can be also helpful to think about who made the game, what their life is like, and where they're coming from. Because I've definitely played a lot of games and seen a lot of movies and TV shows that, were foreign, and I thought, wow, this is very ignorant. But, it was just from a different place. Oh. Persona 5 shirt? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh. Wow. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Dar makes a good point. Everyone has moral responsibility to be inclusive and accommodating of others, says Dar. Everyone has a moral responsibility to be inclusive and accommodating of others, because if you don't, who will? I mean, I guess other people. The world won't on its own. It's unfair like that. For sure, for sure, for sure. Mmm. Mmm. Wow, that's game talk. That's game talk for you. Yeah, I think it's hard. It's really hard with media. It's really hard with media because media, for the most part, is art. And like I said in the beginning, it's like if you're the artist, just create whatever you want. Just like at that point, create whatever you want. It's your mind. It's your world. Create your world. If people like it, dope. If people don't like it, also dope. If you want people to like it, then make something you think people will like. I mean, guys, you're creators. Don't try to put yourself on a completely different platform than Rockstar or Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch Studios. Like, you know, at the end of the day, they're like just creating something, and they are people. They're also human beings. So I just think it's interesting how certain things have to be a statement. Gay protagonist, bold statement. Black protagonist, bold statement. Trans protagonist, unthinkable. Hmm. I think anything. I think anything that hasn't been said enough times before, yeah, is probably viewed as a statement. Yeah. And what is it? Art imitates life. Life imitates art. Ooh. Yeah, but I hear your frustration. That yeah, it has to be seen as a statement. There's this really funny oh boy. Thanks Lucy for bringing up Persona. Um I think there's a lot of black exploitation films. It's sad that there's so many that the term black exploitation even exists. That's like an actual genre. There is no exploitative black films. It's literally just black exploitation films. There's so many, and there's a lot of films with black people where it's like making it a point that there's black people in this film, and then there's a lot of films that are just really really good films that happen to have a predominantly black cast. And you guys hopefully know the difference between the two films I'm talking about. Both can be enjoyed, both are very enjoyable, both can be funny and cool and make good points, but there are some films where it's like, we're gonna have the entire cast that's black, and then we're gonna have one token white guy that's goofy, and he basically is our bucket dump of white stereotypes, and this is kind of like payback slash a mirror image of the way white films treated black people for, decades. There's that type of black film. And then there's films like, I'm trying not to say Black Panther, and I'm also trying not to say Moonlight, yeah. But there's a lot of like really, really beautiful black films um, that are just good films. But the reason that people think of them as black films is because there hasn't quite been enough films still with black characters in it created by black people that aren't exploitative. So people see, a lot of black people and they go, oh, this is one of those black movies. And I totally get that. In the same way that if you see a cast that's entirely women, you're like, oh, this is like a movie probably for women. It's like a lady movie. A lot of people saw, I don't know, Ocean's 8 or the like, I don't know. That's not true. That's not true because I mean, I guess Charlie's Angels felt when I saw it as like specifically a movie made for like horny 13-year-old boys. So, uh, there's some gray area in what I'm saying, but you get the point that I'm saying. You get the point that I'm making. They'll make so it feels like a statement because it's not, people aren't exposed to that stuff. And in the same way, guys, that I said literally yesterday that I didn't know Filipino people until I was like late teens, like 17, 18. I didn't know what they looked like, what the language sounded like, food, whatever. Their culture was invisible to me. It didn't exist. If I saw a if there was like a Filipino anything in my life at that point, it would have felt like a statement. It would have felt like, whoa, what is this coming from? Why? And that doesn't mean I wouldn't have enjoyed it, but it would have felt like a statement. It would have felt like they're making a point here. The Filipino culture has arrived, and even the small move that I made, guys, the very small move that I made from um, Arizona to California, 5 hours, right? 5 hours in the car. There was a pretty big difference in what was being represented to me. Whether it was different cultures, different races, different lifestyles, different types of music, different types of art. A lot of There's a lot of things being shown to me now that I know people, my friends and family back in Arizona, were not experiencing, and so things that happen sometimes to me, even like a like having bathrooms that are non-gendered, like having like non-gendered bathrooms, was not a big deal when that was like rolling around to me. But to people in Arizona, again, guys, 5 hours away, not on the other side of the planet, that was like a problem. Like that was insane. People were acting like the world was going to end. So I think I think things feel like a statement sometimes because people do, particularly in the United States. I'm talking specifically about the United States. The world's very big, but people here do have kind of like bubbles that they live in, and there's a lot of reason for that. There's a lot of, I'm not going to get into it. The stream can only be so long, but I think that that's why those things feel like statements. They're just not something that they see and experience every day. And one person could have the school of thought, though the two schools of thought that I came up with in the beginning, that if you live in Arizona where there aren't a bunch of gay clubs and like pride isn't a big thing and there isn't a lot of like gay representation within your community in a very visual way, then you probably just think that gay people are like, I don't know, like a fairy tale creature that doesn't exist. And so to reach that person, maybe you put a bunch of gay media out. Like there's gay people in this Netflix show, or there's gay people in this FXX show, or there's gay people in this video game, this movie, this band, whatever. You're putting more gay stuff around so that people in their little like hub worlds can see it, and it can be kind of normalized. But then a lot of those people will react defensively, feeling like attacked or something, like, ah, you're pushing it on me, that's not for me, you're like making me see it, I don't like this. And so okay, Hub Worlds is funny. There's like a lot of that. There's a lot of that happening. And so it's kind of this weird thing where it's like, well, how do we reach those people? If you put it in the media, they will like avoid the media because they feel like it's being forced on them. In the same way that a lot of like white people were upset about Black Panther, which is insane because it's a superhero movie. That movie didn't even really say much. There was like a lot of like pretty heavy-handed social commentary in the movie, but most of it was pushed to the beginning and the end of the film. There wasn't too much that people were going to pick up in the middle. So yeah, it was a Marvel movie, but still people were like, I don't know. So if you can't reach those people with media, then the other school of thought is then maybe it needs to change inside their little bubble world, right? Like their life needs to change so that then when they look at a gay movie, it's not like, this is weird. It's like, oh, this is like my friend or like my brother or my sister. These are people I know. This makes sense. I don't know. I don't know what the best way is to reach people so that things don't always have to come off as like a statement or like political or an agenda being pushed or something like that. I don't know how to reach those people all the time. I have a really weird like chill, like just live and let people do their thing approach to a lot of art and stuff like that. If I see art and it's cool and it feels relatable, like what has felt relatable ever? Hmm. It doesn't have to be relatable. Something I appreciated. I appreciated Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Okay, I appreciated Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because that was something that I wanted for a really long time when I was a kid. Finally came out as an adult. I played it. It was great. $60 worth it. And then something will come out that I have zero appreciation for personally, like Animal Crossing, and I will see it. I will appreciate it for what it is, but not personally invested or interested in it, and I'll kind of move on. But I just kind of let the things live and do their thing. I know that there is an audience for these things, and hopefully the audience supports that thing because I won't. Just let people do their thing. But I think that my outlook on media is very rare, and then I just kind of don't care. If there's something I like, I'll appreciate the thing. If there's something I don't like, I just let the fans of that thing have a good time. But I think most people, feel like they need to like take a pair of Nikes and like burn them because I don't know. Burn your Nikes. I just prefer that you have a protagonist that. Oh my God, says Lucy. Lucy's like, I just prefer that you have a protagonist that happens to be gay or happens to be black and not a protagonist that is gay and or black. Yeah, okay. I you're saying similar things to what I was saying, where I would just rather be written into the plot the thing. But there are a lot of reasons why that isn't often the case. But yeah, I would rather just have a concrete decision made for me so I can accept the reality and not have to project myself onto it. But word out. Um, I feel you. Once media starts presenting more characters that are just gay, bi, trans, or whatever, it'll go a long way to bridging the gap for sure. I mean, we've seen Degrassi. Some people are trying, says Cyber. I appreciate that because these folks in the super conservative areas probably won't have any exposure. Yeah, to that otherwise. It's hard though. It's like I said. We see how they can they reject the media, boycott the media. It's nasty, but then even in their own lives, I feel like maybe if it's in their own lives, it'll help. There's a very personal anecdote that I want to give, but the person that it's about may see this later, so I'm not gonna say. But I've had experiences with people that have been very anti blank historically, but only when I happened to be blank and I was in their personal life and in their family, did they kind of start looking at it a different way because somebody that they cared about was in that. Anyways, I mean, some people, not even that's not enough, right? But I'm just saying, in my experience, it's been more so, it had to come from the people's personal life and having like real conversations other than them just seeing a bunch of movies with people that they already don't understand in them. Because most people are going to shut down when they see a stranger with a problem they don't understand. But if they see somebody that they care about, somebody that they relate to in their personal life with that lifestyle or with that thing, sometimes it's a little bit easier to reach those people. I understand not everybody's the same. This isn't a black and white issue, but hopefully what I'm saying makes any sense. Okay, members sexuality, including me, and that's why they get so mad when they see shows like SU and Shira or Everybody Gay. Word. I haven't seen Shira, but I actually don't like Steven Universe for reasons that have nothing to do with gay people being in it. But I hear you. Maybe there are, well, not maybe. There's definitely some people that were like, I don't like Steven Universe. I'm straight, and so should everybody else in the show be. There are straight people in Steven Universe, though, so, I mean, whatever. If somebody has that take, that's wild. Because, anyways, I thought I missed the whole stream, but I actually got up early today. He says, Inobay, word up. So sought after that makes someone less cool to have, says Tiz. Gonna drop a limb and say Raymond kind of overrated. What? So many people only start to care when their proximity to blank is increased. Otherwise, it's like, oh, well, people suck. Yeah! See, that's what I'm saying, Lindsay. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that some people feel like if we change the media, it'll change the world. And I think that that is super true to an extent. But I also think that a lot of people are only going to be receptive to things in their personal lives, myself included. There's a lot of things that after the thing happened to me or after I was in the situation, I remember looking maybe back or at other situations in my life and going like, no, I get that now. That's different. Whether it was somebody getting jumped or somebody sleeping in their car or somebody, having like trouble with drugs or something like that. I haven't had trouble with drugs, but I've had enough family members and friends that have like really been deep in that hole for me to not just look at somebody and be like, stupid drug addict, get out of here, too lazy to get a job. Like, I know it's a more complicated issue. So I think that me looking at movies, a bunch of movies where like somebody was like struggling with like heroin or something like that, it wasn't hitting me or ever maybe even going to hit me the same way that having that in my personal life would. And some people live in such protected bubbles that they're never going to be exposed to certain things. And the media just isn't going to be able to crack that shell to get in. So, yeah. Oh, boy. Game out representation is always gay dads in animation, says Dar, followed by a crying face. I can't tell if that's a complaint or you're so happy you're crying. But, I mean, there's literally a game, what was that dating dad sim that happened? What was it called? Dream Daddy? That was a thing. Remember that? Anyways, Steven turned a girl right, says Cyber. Are you talking to me? Daddy daycare. That's funny. That's funny. Hi, Kiwi, by the way. I didn't see you in here. Usually I don't blame people for not caring until they're closer in proximity, but it is exhausting having to explain others' humanity to people who are far removed. For sure. For sure. Honestly, it never ends, guys. It's never over. It's never over. Bats did a song for Dream Daddy, which was hilarious. Bats did do a song for Dream Daddy. Yeah. Yeah. Crap, I haven't seen Baz in a really long time, actually. Hope they're alright. I'm sure they're fine. Anyways, yeah, it's never over. Let's see, it's never over. Sometimes the fact that it's never over actually brings me peace. I'm not trying to sound super depressing, but sometimes realizing that we are never going to reach this, like, this paragon of understanding and progressive likeness, I guess, where everybody is. I know that by the time I'm 50 or 60, I will look back on things that I'm even saying and doing right now and go like, oh my God, if they would have seen that today, oh wow, what a nightmare. I think that we're constantly progressing. You never reach the apex, and that brings me peace. Because it's not like really like you do try to get certain things done, right? Like maybe I want to be able to walk around in my neighborhood and not get like weird looks, or maybe I want to be able to get an apartment in certain neighborhoods in Los Angeles. That would be cool. Like there's a lot of things that I would like to be able to do, and I think that I can work towards those small things. But just knowing that within my lifetime, there's not going to be like a black person, white person equality. It's just not going to happen in my lifetime. It actually gives me some like, okay, so just like run at my pace and get the things done that I can, but it's not like some big L if, if by 2025 I'm not seen as equal of, I don't know, Porter Robinson. It's just not going, like, it's not going to happen. And so instead of using that truth to be bummed out, I'm just kind of like, you know what, all right. These are the rules of the game that I'm in, and I can push and I can bend and I can improve them, but I'm not going to change the world, It sounds so depressing when I say it out loud, but it does bring me peace, guys. It does bring me peace. Yeah. Rick Astley was good. Rick Astley actually aged pretty decent, you know? Why didn't the developers give us more options? I want the option to be hate crime for being open about myself. That'd be fun. I remember before you were saying that you were annoyed that you realized more people were aware of you, but you only brought you up in conversation of the BLM movement. Yeah. Wait, why are you bringing that up now, Diz? That was like a thing, right? Where it's just like, this is upsetting, but it's not, that's not going, it's not going to change. You guys will maybe never see Caro Bonito tweet about me again. It'll probably never happen again. You're probably not going to see EDM.com or whatever the heck it was, like, post my music again. Maybe if they kill, like, a few more hundred of my people in a closed time frame that seems egregious even for the masses, maybe I'll get a tweet or a shout out, but it's not happening, and it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's like, I'm okay. At the end of the day, I'm fine. Yeah. That was chill. But yeah, that was the thing that happened is, I'll settle for no physical harm coming my way. Just want to be left alone, even if it means a harder time at success. Oh, that's a beautiful sentiment, Umbe. Yeah. I'm always saying I want to be left alone. Always. Word. We're still not at 2? Jesus, because it's just been talking the whole time. It's just been talking. Anywho, yeah, I hope you guys get all the games you want. And I hope you guys can relate to the characters if you want to. I hope that if you're somebody that does need to relate to the characters, you can just play the game and have a good time. And remember that progression is a moving goalpost, and you never quite make it in. But you gotta keep trying. You gotta just make the world a better place for you and me. But just keep in mind, it's you never hit it. You never hit it. Things happen very, very slowly. Things happen pretty slowly. Whoa, Hadoka bro. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. I was actually thinking of you the other day. Like, pretty recently, like, was it Thursday? This had to have been, like, Monday or something. It was, like, this week. It was a few days ago. How have you been? You been okay? Mm-hmm. Wow. Everything is going, decent. Hadoka bro. It's been very, very warm. We're in the middle of a heat wave, but I do the streams pretty early in the morning, so it hasn't had a chance to get as warm as it usually does yet. Yeah. I was really about to get into Medley. I like Ava. I don't like Ava specifically because they're trashing Ruby or however you say it. I appreciate Ava's um, honesty, I guess. Ava's always very. There's been times where I've said something and Ava's just like blatantly been like, "Yeah, that thing was bad, but I'm glad you enjoyed it," and I do like that. I do like that. Ava, that show does not age well. Don't say anything, Ava. That will spoil it. Don't spoil it, Ava. I'm not gonna read Ava's comment. Cyber, can you hide it if it has spoilers in it? I'm not reading it. Has Cyber seen this thing to even know if Ava said spoilers? I'm not reading your comment, Ava, but uh, I'm probably gonna watch or play Ruby. I don't know. I don't know what kind of media it is anymore, but I'll probably watch or play it. And what we're 20, we're in 2020 right now, so probably like 2028, 2029, I'll probably get around to experiencing this. Actually, I can read the spoiler because I'll probably forget by the time I watch it. What was the spoiler? I'm very interested to see what you think. There's a lot of jank, but it is fun. Oh, don't worry, but I'm not seeing it anytime soon. Um, that brings it up too much for me to actually see it. There's this really weird thing. There's this. there's this. There's like a meter. There's this meter. Just imagine like two little points where it's like I ain't seen the thing, and I have seen the thing. And when I haven't seen something and somebody lets me know it exists, I'm like, oh, maybe I should see that thing. And then somebody else is just like, hey, it's really good. I cried. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll still see it. And I'm like, oh, it changed my life, Omni. Oh my God. At episode 14, you won't believe. And I'm like, all right, I don't know that I want to watch it anymore. And then maybe after another like 50 recommendations, I'm like, okay, all right, we're done. Easy Dora got me to watch some movie called City of God after 2 years of recommending it. But Easy Dora recommended it maybe 5 times over the course of 2 years. I don't know how she had that level of. Maybe she was just forgetting. Maybe she forgot that it was something I was supposed to watch. But yeah, you ever just get recommended something so many times that you never want to touch it? That's how I am with Undertale. I'll probably never play that game. And shouts out to the dude who made it. You made a game that literally matters so much. Like people love that game, but I feel pretty confident saying I'm never going to play that game. There's another game like that too that I'm probably never going to play. It is. What was it? What was the other one? There. Oh man, it was a good one too, or allegedly. Um, Ruby early volumes have problematic aspects, but Ruby V7 best exploration of post-war America I've ever seen. Gonna stop commenting on it now, or complimenting it now. That you say it makes you want to watch it less. I'm the opposite. Oh, that's cool. Deltarune, the other one? No, I'm also not gonna play that. But there's another thing that like people are like, oh my god, you have to play this. And I think I can remember being I was at a con too and people were talking about it and somebody else came to me and I was just like, wow, yeah, I'm not gonna play it. I've decided I'm not gonna play it and I can't remember what the game was. But maybe that's good. I legit just forgot it existed. Unless it's Hamilton, which literally just don't watch it. If other people hyperfixate about it, I want to share in the hyperfixation. So why is Hamilton excluded from this? I'm acquainted with Ruby, VA, and that's about my extent on knowledge on that series. Good job on the forget. Truly a skill. Thank you, Hidoka Bro. The amount of memories I've repressed, Hidoka Bro, intentionally, sometimes I will intentionally repress a memory. It's like a really cool skill, but I don't recommend people get used to practicing it because I think I like overdid it and now my memory's just really bad. But there is a there's a psychological way to induce memory repression. Okay. Anyways, I don't want to watch it. That's it. It's so simple. Why, Dar? How come? How come, Dar? Dar. I don't think I like it. Dar. I don't like the way rap is written in that show. That show is rap in it? I like the Madoka movie sucks this movie. It probably is, Lindsay. It could have something to do with. No, we're talking about Hamilton. Um, I respect Lin Manuel Miranda so much as a writer. I have not seen Hamilton. I have not seen Hamilton though. Have you played Ghost of Tsushima yet? Says Hadoka Bro. I have it. I will let you know when I play it. Actually, I probably won't let you know when I play it. I'll probably just next because you don't come into the streams that often. I feel like next time you're in and talk to me, I'll probably have beaten it. You're not gonna give up. You're oh my god, yes, Cyber, more Hamilton quotes, please. Something, something, something. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. Why do I know that line? I haven't seen Hamilton. Cyber, I haven't seen that. That's so cool. I like I like Cyber. All right. Anyways, free psychotherapy sessions every weekday at 9 a.m. They're bad though. They're bad. They'll scar you. They'll mess you up. People can give such a hard time for Hamilton. People give him such a hard time for Hamilton. Lin Manuel, really? But it's like the thing. It's like the big thing. I particularly liked his writing in Moana. See, guys, I know this man's catalog. I liked his writing in Moana, and what In the Heights was pretty chill. But I have not seen Hamilton. You would like Hamilton, says Liana. Oh, I really hope you're talking to Dar. I love this stuff in Moana, but God, a few of those verses in Hamilton kill me. That's sick. Dar is making me want to see Hamilton more than Dar ever made me want to see whatever Ruby is. Dang, Dar's actually turning me around on Hamilton. Yo, that bar's sick. I'm the President of the United States of America. That's sick. It doesn't address that the founding fathers were racist or whatever, making them seem less bad. They weren't racist, Ava. I think they were Puerto Rican, if Hamilton is to be believed. I'm showing very well naive, just in general. Just so stupid. It's just a historical fiction. Let him live. Maybe I can censor myself as this goes. Lin-Manuel, not the actors, like the real ones. No, the real ones. I'm pretty sure Hamilton was Puerto Rican. Dominican, maybe? Something like that. I don't know. Cyber, somebody like wiki this or something like that, but I think I read somewhere that Hamilton was Puerto Rican or Dominican. Beethoven's black or something. Anyways, Lindsay says, I will not attend this pizza party if we're watching Hamilton. We're not going to watch Hamilton. We're not going to watch Hamilton. Lindsay. One of my Wells lip fights, Sophie's make me hungry. Guys, I haven't played any music this stream. I'm gonna watch Hamilton though. Literally just because of Dar. Dar's the one that brought it up, right? I'll watch it in my own time. Anyways, like it's the folks who cancel everyone every chance they get that are bothered by it. Yeah, Ava, preach on. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's just let the man make whatever he wants to make. Let him make a thing. Let him make a thing. He clearly is obsessed with Hamilton. This isn't a joke, guys. My first roommate, who I love to pieces, was obsessed with Lin-Manuel Miranda. Obsessed, guys. The reason I know that, not throwing away my shot, the reason I know that line is because my first roommate, Dusty, would rap that line all the time. I've never actually heard it in the musical. He loved Lin-Manuel, and so he loved Hamilton. We went to New York. Well, yeah, we were in New York at the same time, me and Dusty. And Dusty was one of the people standing out in the cold in Manhattan outside the theater hoping to get those lottery tickets. You know, they lottery out some tickets every. Anyways, point is, he loves Lin-Manuel. Just let him write a thing. He loves, not talking about Dusty anymore. Now I'm talking about Lin-Manuel. Lin-Manuel loves Hamilton and like researches him, owns several books on him. Like he finds his life fascinating because immigrant story and all that stuff. So he made a thing about Hamilton, and I'm okay with it. Do I want to see it? Well, before this stream, not really. Dar's turning me around, but before Dar, I didn't really want to see it. But if it's gonna have like sick bars in it, super creepy in my opinion, says Lindsay. Get a better hobby. Conan O'Brien is also somebody that's like really obsessed with like Civil War generals and like knows all the history about the war. People just find that stuff interesting. I guess I'm not bothered about his fascination with Alexander Hamilton. I guess if you're looking for a hero and you're an immigrant, your family's an immigrant, and like Hamilton was an immigrant, you know, and became president, I can see how that could be empowering, right? So I get it, but I have not seen Hamilton the musical. However, I do really, really like crap. I forgot the name of it. Anyways, not good. Stick bug though, says Ava. The same with the Lin biting his lip is funny to me. Lin's cool looking. People who fixate on U.S. history are super strange to me. Not a cute look. Says Lindsay. Sorry if this offends anyone. My soul has been blackened by your spite, says Dar. I only saw it because my coworker wanted to see it when we were visiting San Francisco, and my boss gave her a ticket to me. Liana, that sounds dope. Truly one of the lucky ones. I haven't gone to a theater to see a live musical in a long time. The last thing I saw was Lion King, and while it was amazing, I mean, it's Lion King. I feel like Lion King is really one of like the Broadway, like it's like the Super Mario Bros. Of Broadway shows. Like everybody's kind of seen it, and even if you haven't, you wanted to at some point. It's good, but we've seen it. But Hamilton was kind of cool. It was like the Moana of the Disney productions, you know. Anyway, I was going to go take a musical on Broadway. Probably go see Cats, says Ava, which is piping hot take. I'm aware. I wouldn't see Cats the live musical, but I do really want to see that film that came out. Very genuinely, not to make fun of it. I just wanted to see that movie. There's this between learning about something and fixating, romanticizing it, says Lindsay, talking about American history. Mall, wasn't going to read. My soul has been blackened by your display. Would have been a powerful statement. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dower. I'm not spiting you, but you did make a very good point about Hamilton, which it might be changing my mind on it. Seems like such a trip, says Ava, talking about Cats. Indeed, most interesting stuff is in Europe anyway, says Chibi Lucy, talking about Broadway shows, which I guess in Europe wouldn't be referred to as Broadway, so my apologies. Lindsay stepping out of the topic about American history, I assume, and romanticizing it. I think history can be very fascinating. Is rough because American history envelops a lot, right? Not just war, not Civil War stuff. I, for example, am very, very invested in and interested in American history when it comes to media. Like how movies first were starting, how the comedy world has worked and evolved, how the music world has kind of evolved. It's very fascinating to me to like learn like certain things that used to be possible. For example, like Elvis's manager got 50% of everything. That, by today's standards, is literal robbery. If your manager took half of everything you earned, people would people would be like screaming in the streets and pulling their hair out, but that was fine back then, you know. I like hearing and learning about stuff like that. Now, romanticizing it, like Lindsay says, can get a little weird. Um, can get a little weird. Gets into like MAGA territory, I guess. I'm invested in hearing keyboard sound 204 on the Yamaha. Thank you, Cyber, for keeping me on track. Hadoka Bro says, I'm Canadian. It's weird hearing Hamilton. It just makes us want a cool modern retelling of past Canadian moments, like when the old mayor of Toronto smoked crack, and a real Canadian moment. That's a real Canadian moment, the mayor smoking crack. Hadoka Bro, I've been watching so much Degrassi lately, and with every episode, it makes me miss my time in Canada. I miss you, Canada. Hopefully, meet up soon. Maybe I should have specified, like, government military history. Ooh! Oh, it's still in Oregon. Just those notes sounded cool to me, Cyber. This is 204. Oh, never mind. I like this whole thing. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that's sick. I feel like the organ sounds, there's probably going to be a lot of them. I just don't understand organs. Like, so many organ names are like fractions. It's like 16, 2, 2 over 3 divided by 5. Like, I don't understand how organs work. Anyways, da, 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 you don't watch hockey and eat Tim Hortons, says Diz. Talking to Hadoka Bro, the Canadian. Why did Hadoka Bro say they've never watched Degrassi? Criminal. Sometimes saying the previous government, people mess up and then compare and see government, people mess up in practically the same way, just frustrates me. This is true, yeah. Now knowing history, you're doomed to repeat it. Who said that? Somebody famously said that. Well, that's fair. It's like important to note about U.S. military history, complex U.S. imperialism. So yeah, I think that Lindsay's point was definitely knowing the thing and even being interesting in the thing. The important note that they made, I feel like, is they said romanticizing. I think romanticizing history can get rough. Even I've fallen into that hole a few times when looking at maybe listening to old music or whatever, but Lindsay was specifying like military stuff, like old generals. And I looked at a video recently that talked about Genghis Khan's nephew or something like that and their conquest. Now they nearly took over Europe, and it was fascinating. But I was very aware that what I was hearing and reading about was like genocide. So as a Canadian, it's weird hearing Hamilton. Oh, I already read that. Sorry, Hadoka Bro. Moving right along. Degrassi was good, by the way. Just happy that we're able to fix Drake's legs after he was done with Degrassi. A real Canadian moment. Ooh, I like real Canadian moment. I like that. Okay, so to get to the point where I can play that song in like different keys because I can play it in those two. Jimmy should have run in a serpentine pattern, says Diz, to avoid the bullet by Rick. What a good show. What a good show. It had everything. It had half black people, it had another half black person, it had a half black person, and then it had that one half black person, and then it had a gay person. Then there was a trans character. And then there was a half black person right before the end right there. So dope. Played on only white keys. Somebody said, oh my god, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it, but somebody said something really funny on Twitter about how, if you add up all the black, oh, never mind. Please watch Degrassi, it's funny. It's funny. And there are a lot of black characters on it. A lot. Okay, play with only white keys challenge. Yeah. I mean, it only gets weird at the one part. Sorry. I can do it probably. Hold on. Play us for the Degrassi channel all the time. Oh, yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, I can't do it then. Yeah. It's just that. You can't get that. You can't get that. Wait, hold on. Yeah, you can't get that. Can't do it on concrete. Drake is the blackest character, says Umbe. Word. I mean, well, yeah. Obviously. After seeing people like Drake and people like Eric Andre and people like two of my exes, I thought that being half black and half Jewish was the only way to success. It was the only. I'm glad that Lindsay got the joke that I was making, because I say that a lot to my roommate. Can't do it on concrete. You can't do it on concrete. I think it's possible, but it's tricky. I remember Drake, says Cyber. Me too. You know what's really funny? I guess spoiler alert for Degrassi. There is a character in Degrassi named Drake, and he stabs one of the characters, killing him. So there are several episodes where Drake on screen, Jimmy, mentions a character named Drake, and it's never not funny to me. Always gets a little giggle from me. Talk about food, runs away in that video. Yeah, I did get it. That is me. I mean, Lindsay, that's important. There's this, oh. I think that whenever anything really wild happens, or happened around me, I would just run. You hear a gunshot, you run. You hear a punch get thrown, you run in the opposite direction the punch got thrown in. You hear shattered glass, you run away from wherever the shattered glass came from. So that dude, like, just immediately legging it as soon as homie, like, cantaloupes his head on the concrete. I'm like, heck yeah, that's what I would do. There's no way I'm sticking around to see how that aftermath folds out. Yeah, I'm cheating. I'm sorry, guys. I did spoil a little bit of Degrassi. But, I didn't tell you which character it is. Ah ha ha. And the character doesn't have a name before they stab, and several characters get a knife pulled on them throughout the. Actually, several characters get stabbed and shot, and they don't all end up dead or in a wheelchair like Drake. So it can. It's not a full spoiler. Ah, see, Degrassi was definitely fun to watch, though, says Zumbi. It was very fun to watch. It's cool. I'll never watch Degrassi, says Liana. Oh, word. So you're like me in that Ruby show. I'm joking. I'll probably eventually watch Ruby, probably. And I probably won't watch Hamilton. All jokes aside, I'm probably not going to watch Hamilton, but I know it's probably good. Because Lin-Manuel is good at what he does. And Hamilton is one of the things that he did. Um, but yeah, several people do get shot. Hmm. Crap, did you make Ruby, Dar? Are you actually the creator that's just you've been like hiding and masquerading in the streams? Why do I always do that? There's this chord, Whenever I end on this chord, so for example, like, I always drop into that chord just so I can take off for other songs like this, or or but for some reason, slipping from this chord is just so. I want to get out of that habit because it has become like I do it almost every time now. I'll have you know, my alarm is Spring Street. Is it now? Is it? I'll probably never watch Get Out now, but I think about it, says Umbe. Oh, what? Oh, God. Oh, dear Lord. Not Jordan Peele. Um, I think Omni is giving away his shots. Hey, that works. Syllabically, is that a term? Syllabically, that works. Get Out is a nice movie, says Eddie. I agree with Eddie. By the way, hello, Eddie. Welcome to the stream. If you were here the whole time, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. Get Out was good, but if you're never going to watch it, that's dope. Yeah, some things about Get Out seem forced to me, says Diz. Such as life, baby. It's not even that I don't want to watch it, it's that I never do, if that makes any sense. Yes, that makes way more sense than maybe you think it does. Like me and Orange is the New Black. I'm just like not watching it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just not gonna watch it. Never seen the film, but horrifying. Let me says the same good. I want to watch Get Out so bad. Hello, Flame Venturer. Yeah. Get Out's good. I'm glad that I saw Get Out when I did, because maybe if I didn't see it when I did, I wouldn't watch it now. That was one of those movies I needed to see like opening weekend, or else I was never going to see it. There's quite a few. Hey, what's up, crowd? There's quite a few movies I need to see within the first 3 or so days it's out, or else I will never see it. Sonic was one of those movies. Get Out was one of those movies, because if there's a movie that I feel like is about to have like a conversation around it, I need to see it so that the conversation doesn't annoy me out of watching the film. And I knew Get Out was going to have a conversation around it, so I saw it immediately. Sonic I also saw immediately, but that was the last movie a lot of us saw, wasn't it? In theaters. Um, and Endgame is a movie that I saw. Oh, of course, I saw it opening day. I mean, it's a Marvel film. I hate the acronym OITNB. I always read it as ointment. Oh, word up. What does it stand for? What is that? OITNB. Am I supposed to know what that is? Umbe says they've probably been too exposed to get out opinions to feel motivated to watch it now. That's exactly my point. Yeah, that's why I had to see it opening day. I respect the animators of the Sonic movie for redoing Sonic, says Diz. I have my own weird opinions about what that actually was that I've talked about in the stream, because I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, if you were in that stream, yeah. I wish I didn't see Endgame opening day, says Dar. Not worth the price of admission. Not worth the price of admission, says Dar. Scathing review from Dar about Endgame. Liana just says Orange is the New Black. Oh crap! Oh no, that's what the. Oh, is that what people call it? Ew. Yeah, that's an ugly acronym. The last Star Wars movies is the same way. I didn't see it when it came out, so I may just never see it now. I feel you, Umbe. Finally, somebody like me. I feel like I say that at least once a stream. Uh, okay, all right. Well, let me not get into it. Says Lindsay. About something. um, yeah, Dar doesn't like Endgame. Uh, um, one of the worst finales to anything ever at all. Uh, mm, 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 uh, mm, mm. Um, Dar said, I know it has a bad ending. Uh, um, mm, mm, mm. This is hard. Hmm. No. There's two things happening right now, Dar. There's a Sonic conversation. There's a Sonic conversation that unfortunately I know too much about. Where if I say the thing I know, it'll be like, eh, it'll be a thing. I'll just say not everything. Hmm. Anyhow, man. Sometimes marketing is when people know what marketing looks like. I would say a mark of good marketing is making marketing not look like it's marketing. Um, that is what I will say. And specifically to Dar's take on um, uh, and it was a good Sonic to begin with. Says Dar about it. I'm not gonna say anything about the Sonic thing. Um, I'm gonna go. Dar said something else about something. Oh, Dar said Endgame was bad. Um, uh, okay. I have a theory about um, things being bad that are the ending of things. Dar, I have never seen a conclusion to a saga, a series, a trilogy, an anime of whatever, and thought it was good. Um, so you coming extra hard up for Endgame for me is like, what did you think was gonna? What I don't know what you thought you were getting, or it's a Disney movie at this point. What are they, like 12 movies in? There was no way, even if that movie was 6 hours long, there was no way it was gonna get wrapped up in a dope way. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that. So did I like Endgame? Yeah, I liked Endgame because my expectations were adjusted to a Disney Marvel film. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I came out of that theater going like, oh, sick. I legit came out of there going like, oh, hey. The game ended, didn't it? Wow, what an end to that game. Conclusions are hard, so I'm very light on them, says Umbe. Umbe just sounds like me half the time. The longer the thing, the harder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me know when that One Piece finale comes out. Dar says, I expected them to not abandon all their black people off screen. Did you? Um, and then kill the only female Avenger as the ultimate manic pixie dream girl. Did they? And rampant fat phobia. What you say? This is nothing will top Game of Thrones. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I mean, I gotta play something. I gotta play something. Wait, hold on. I expected better, says Dar. Well, I guess that is I guess that is the difference, right? Um, I expected what I saw on screen. Hidoko Bro says fat phobia. Yeah, people were upset about Thor being like really fat. Um, Not specifically Thor being fat because that's oversimplification and belittling, but the like the deeper implications that like Thor being fat, it's kind of like laughed off as like, ah ha ha, you like had a rough time, you're like depressed now, so of course you got really fat, and it's mostly played it for laughs. But I will say, oof, oof. I will say, who is fat in the Avengers movie though? Thor. What? Umbe, Thor. Remember? Is this a spoiler? Crap. I'm not trying to ruin this movie for anybody, but Thor gains weight before Endgame. Oh. I want to time out just to move the stream forward. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Thor. Yeah, yeah. These are tepid takes. Cyber people were upset about Fat Thor. I think here's the problem. I think here's the problem. Listen here. Listen to where the problem is right here. Um, Endgame is a huge movie, and there are a lot of people that actually have like a full character arc throughout Endgame. I mean, sorry, not throughout Endgame, throughout the MCU. Whether or not you think the arc is good or not, or realistic or not, or touching or not, they have arcs, right? Ant Man has an arc. Thor has an arc. You know, oh god, T'Challa has an arc. Doctor Strange kind of has an arc. Yeah, a lot of people are in their arc. But if you're gonna have a movie that has a bunch of people, there's gonna be some. Those people aren't going. Those people are going to be minimized. I mean, this has been a thing for a pretty long time. I'm not saying that nobody should be allowed to be upset about Endgame, but I'm just saying if we're going to pack like very complex characters into what is essentially going to be, I don't know, 7 minutes sometimes of screen time, yeah, there's going to be a lot of like hasty, like, oh, you're dead, you're a joke character now again, like talking about Thor, because they could have like made Thor's whole like upset between the two movies be bad. You know, they could have really like dug into it, like, yo, the homie's like doesn't have a home anymore. He's freaking traumatized. He's depressed. He's failed. He's sad. But I do think that it's a Disney movie at the end of the day, and a lot of that stuff, like you can't have several characters. There's so many characters that were going through really really rough arcs, Dar, and a lot of that is transferred almost specifically to the fight, kind of, or the tension between Cap and Tony. There is a weird thing with Hawkeye where Hawkeye's like upset and like goes on like some rant like, and it's like his Ronin arc from the comic books. A lot of things are just kind of like sloppily thrown together, and it's a Disney Marvel movie. So yeah, like I wasn't upset. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's okay though. I went in expecting that, so I wasn't upset when like, yo, did I think there was gonna be a lot of screen time for like Black Panther and Endgame? God no, of course not. Just the filming and production of that movie, just Endgame, not even Infinity War, just Endgame was like a logistical nightmare. The stuff that they were having to try to do. So the fact that the movie was like a little bit rushed through certain character developments like that, I was just like, yeah, okay, I get it. This is like a I this has never happened before, so I can't really be that upset with. I personally, not anybody else. I personally was like, I can't be that upset with like some things getting cut short. Black Panther literally being there for like what felt like 2 seconds. Um, I'm just like, hey, this has never happened before. Maybe if there's an end game that comes out every year, eventually we can get the formula down right. But I honestly don't think an end game type film will ever happen again in my lifetime. Maybe really far down the road. There was just way too many things going on in that movie. I don't know how we're ever gonna get there. I don't know. Hmm. Eddie's upset about the lazy writing Captain Marvel in her own movie. Word up. I mean, yeah, that movie. That movie felt like a movie made for like the Disney Channel, and I mean that with love. Like that zombies movie. The movies are for two people: kids who like to see their baddies get punched, and the comic heads who just want to see their faves get screen time. I would disagree, but agree at the same time, if that makes sense. Those aren't the only two people that those movies are made for, because I know several people that don't fall into either one of those categories. I know some very real adults who never read the comics that are just like big fans of Iron Man now. Maybe just because they like Robert Downey Jr. They got like sucked in from the movies, but um, yeah. Spider-Man Far From Home was terrible, says Alpha. I've heard this take before. Maybe it was actually from you, actually. Strange to me that it's expected that I was average Joe, was supposed to watch and enjoy those films. Oh, if you're talking specifically about Endgame, yeah, I don't think an average Joe can watch those films. You have to at least seen the films before it to have any type of investment. But, all right, gonna hop out and gotta get busy. Goodbye, Lucy. Thank you for being in the stream. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Disney doesn't need to care about the comic heads anymore, though, says Diz. Uh, that's rough. That's rough. I'm gonna say if you're looking at this from the perspective of Disney, you could be absolutely right. But I'm saying if you're looking at it from the perspective of the person in charge of the movies, if you're like these movies didn't care about the comic continuity and they did this well. These movies that did care about the comic continuity did this well. And this is this amount of money and this is this amount of money. So I don't think that they actually care about the comic book heads, but they know that when Marvel or the MCU did care about those comic book fans, something like Endgame was allowed to exist. So I don't know. Just from a money standpoint, if they don't care about the comic book nerd, because that is, that is money. I don't care what anybody says. Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man movie. Oh, Spider-Verse, sorry. Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie ever made, says Eddie. I think it was visually stunning and very cool, but I would not make that statement about it being the best Spider-Man movie ever made. I'm giving you permission to play some music and move on. Oh, thanks, Cyber. I just want new music to come out. Been like 4 years. Yeah, that goodness. How long have we been seeing promo information about that movie? I don't even know what that movie is anymore. God, we're at 2:30. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. There's like at least what 2 people that wants to move on from this. Don't hate to say that, Eddie. Don't hate to say that. Don't hate to say that. It was a very good movie. I'm unshakable on this tape. I'm not gonna fight you on that hill, by the way, Eddie. If that's a hill that you want to die on, I'm definitely not gonna fight you on that because that movie was amazing. It was a really good movie. So what's humanity in the question? I think that Eddie actually has a really good point on that maybe being the best Spider-Man movie. I think that it felt it felt too much like a joke. It felt like it was just filled with a lot of like Spider-Man jokes. Like, aha, here's a Spider-Man Noir. Aha, here's Spider-Gwen. Remember? If you don't, it's okay. Here's Spider-Pig. Aha, like it didn't. And that's not to say that the movie wasn't good, but it just felt like very little of it was placed on Spider-Man, and more of it was placed on jokes. Tobey Maguire's are my second favorite. Ooh. Spider-Verse is an average movie that looks nice. It's very formulaic and simple. I guess that's what I'm saying. It was a very good movie. It felt like a very good movie, but it didn't feel like a very good Spider-Man movie. Like, Spider-Verse felt good to me in that it was just very pretty and it was cohesive. But if I'm naming Spider-Man movies, I don't even know that I name Spider-Verse like in the list of Spider-Man movies. It feels like it exists on its own, like in like a fan film thing. In terms of actually nailing Spider-Man as a character, Spider-Man 2 or Homecoming perhaps. I would say Homecoming as far as nailing Spider-Man as a character. Oh, that's actually a good point. Good take. I think it's like that because Miles' backstory is so dark. Whoa. I think that's actually why I don't like it. Oh my god, okay. Sorry, saying I don't like it implies I don't like the movie. The movie was good. But I think the reason that I don't like it is because I was a huge Miles Morales fan. I remember reading the Death of the Spider-Man arc, and then when Miles Morales came in, I was like, oh, sick. And I loved his story, and I loved what Miles Morales represented, and I feel like Miles in the Spider-Verse movie was kind of just a kid to like dump a bunch of jokes into, and it was like, aha, throw Peter in there. Peter's got a dad bod, isn't that dope? Oh man, oh, the Spider-Gwen's here, everybody. Noir, it's Nicolas Cage. Oh, snap. Like, it didn't feel like a good Spider-Man movie to me, but it was a very good movie. Miles' story is actually extremely light. Peter Parker's backstory and watching all of his friends and family die over and over. Uh-oh. We're getting into comic book talk. I mean, I even want to pull out of this. Because I'm only going to talk about Ultimate Marvel, which is like Ultimate Spider-Man, stuff like that. If anything blows the MCU Spider-Man out, the park, though, says Alpha. Spider-Man dies, and Miles is now getting powers, but his uncle is after him as the Prowler. True, Ava. Hate MCU Spider-Man obsession with Iron Man. Okay. fair. I haven't been qualified for some of the conversations in my own stream. There was times where I remember when you guys were just talking about Animal Crossing, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know anything about this game, so I can't talk about this. Yes, the lack of Iron Man was refreshing, says Ava. Oh. Oh, that's so interesting. Spider-Man was a completely independent character before this, but everything in the MCU has pushed the Avengers agenda. That Iron Man is still hands him everything. Oh. Oh. The thing is, I have a very, 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 very informed take on that, right? Alpha's problem with Spider-Man being so connected to Iron Man, but that actually has like a basis in the comics. So if they're trying to tie the movies together, right, tying the movies together in the same way that they've tied other characters together that don't even necessarily appear always in the same comic. I get why they chose Iron Man for Peter Parker, because there's actual literature backing for that, you know? Maybe if you're somebody that doesn't like Iron Man, I get that, but in the comic, Spider-Man was already doing the Spider-Man thing when Iron Man came and helped him by giving him tech. I'm talking more so about in the Ultimate Universe too. And the movies, Spider-Man also was already doing his own thing. Right? It does follow pretty closely what was happening in the comics, so I understand it. But I also understand if somebody doesn't like that. Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic are always at the center of the... Oh. Yeah, okay, alright, Umbe, I agree with you, and you're making a very good point. Also, Hank Pym, just throw Hank Pym in there, and I am officially out of this conversation. I am now out of the Marvel conversation. This is very good, and I'm realizing that Umbe has also read the comics that I'm talking about, so I already feel validated, and I feel like I'm not talking into a void now. Yeah. That's like a whole thing. And so it's not necessarily like they're trying to take away the underdog thing, but again, I get why you don't like that. You don't like Tony Stark being the father figure to Peter Parker. You feel like it takes away the underdog aspect. I don't, but I hear where you're coming from. I am out of this conversation. I will time out anyone who brings up Marvel stuff at this point. It's starting to get hot. There's also that one. I'm not gonna read that. But yes, I agree with you, Alpha. Oh, Hadoker wants to talk about DC Comics instead. Gotta be honest with you, not a real big DC person. Sorry. When I was a kid, I was all about Marvel. Lindsay says, no offense to y'all comic heads, but I mean, I don't take any offense. I understand that some people just didn't read them. Again, in the same way that, like, when people went in the stream, you guys remember those streams where everybody was in the stream talking about Animal Crossing? And I was just kind of sitting here like, I literally don't play this game. I have nothing to say. And then you guys were like, Omni, you should get a Nintendo Switch and you can play with us. You can come to my island. And I was like, I don't really want to though. But you guys can keep talking about it if you want. I just kind of let you guys chill and keep talking about it. But word up, no Marvel talk. No comic book talk. Cyber's crush in the comments. Oh no! Somebody in timeout? Oh man. I like Watchmen says Umbe. Hmm. Watchmen was good. Hmm. Watchmen was good. Watchmen's good. I did like that. I also like the movie, which is divisive, I guess, because a lot of people didn't. What do you consider a mainstream comic, Lindsay, when you say you don't like mainstream comics for whatever reason? And why don't you like them? I feel bad for your little bro, by the way, Diz. That sounds horrible. X-Men is Marvel, Ava. DC Comics. Avengers primarily, to be honest. I should clarify when I say particularly don't like bro culture surrounding it, not the actual comic itself. Oh. So like me and anime, then. How like, I don't think the anime's bad, but I don't like the weeb culture surrounding it, so I don't want to talk about anime in the stream. Is it like that? I'm stuck between Ochako and... Oh, look. Ava's already talking about anime. Comics by their very nature are kind of not mainstream. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no, Cyber's taking the words right out of my mouth. But it seems like the big Marvel DC fans are super... You gotta know everything to have an opinion, and it's extremely sexist, more so than with anime even. Oh? How's that? Okay. No. If you're not a man, you want to have an opinion, you gotta know everything. I feel the same way about anime. But yeah, I guess there's gatekeeping. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't think the conversation we were having here was like particularly like trying to gatekeep knowledge. Sorry if you felt that way though. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, why didn't you want us to talk about it then? To speak for a time, I never really lived it. I'll say this: comics were always fringe element nerd stuff, so it became that it's only now that it's hip to like comics. That's fair. Yeah, I think that's what Cyber was saying a little bit earlier, a little bit higher up. It's hard to even use the term like mainstream comics or mainstream comic culture because it's like, I mean, I realize now that they're the highest grossing films, but it just is funny because that 180 kind of happened pretty recently in comic books, like longevity. Um, hmm. I don't think the comic community is really that much bigger. It's, oh. Word. Yeah. Yeah. What I'm hearing from you, Lindsay, not to oversimplify, what I'm hearing from you is that you don't dislike the comics, you don't like the culture or the typical atmosphere that surrounds them, and I think I get it. Yeah, we can do that. Oh my god. I usually play before you have to request it. That's so cool. It's so rare that I hear you even say it. So that's nice. Thanks, Liana. Um, I think that's the reason I don't like anything. If you ask me about anything, like, do I like Kingdom Hearts? Like, yeah, I like it on my own, but I don't really like the fandom of Kingdom Hearts. Most fandoms are kind of bad. Um, I got kind of picked on for liking comics and even some games for a short period in school, says Ube. Word up. Yo, Leanna, you can't say that. I don't feel like this is. I feel like this can't. Calling this a fan stream is rough because there have been a lot of people that have come into this stream that like did not know any of my music, and I still don't know how they found it. I feel like though. But what you're saying about comic books, Lindsay, I feel like it's also true about gaming. Even though the field also has plenty of um, lady gamer, it still feels like a space predominantly male. Maybe it's because the dudes are just louder and more exclusive. But I don't dislike when people talk about games. But maybe that's because I'm not the gender that would have been excluded from it. Do you dislike when people talk about games? Or does it like bother you? Like mainstream games? Like since you were talking mostly about like Marvel, DC comics, like what is a mainstream game? I guess 2K. Oh man. Oh, Call of Duty, Fortnite, 2K. Oh wow, I said 2K as a joke. So yeah, okay. Um, I personally am happy that more people are connecting with the content I've enjoyed in my youth, even if it's come at a contemplative, oh my god, complete destruction of the cultures themselves. I feel the same way, Umbe. I used to be I honestly, I mean, we were all like idiot kids at one point. I used to be very gatekeepy about the stuff that I liked, you know. Um, but now I realize that if all the comics were the way oh, if all the comic movies were the way I would make them, Endgame wouldn't have been able to happen. You know, we wouldn't have had that. So, which by admissions of several people in the stream they did not like, but still, I'm like, it's really cool that that was able to happen. Um, so I'm like okay with it. Yeah. Hmm. So many times or anything because I ain't dealing with folks nagging me. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. Screw dude bros. You know what's funny? Um. Actually, that's not funny. I hate when people gatekeep Forklift Simulator. Yeah, screw them. Wait, are you talking about Shenmue? Diz? I don't mind hearing people talk about games to answer your question. Word, okay. My uncle is a huge comic nerd, and when I saw the first Avengers movie, he was so happy. Never thought he'd see it on the big screen. That's so cool. That's heartwarming. See, I guess that I mean I guess that's why I like Marvel films. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people like hate on Marvel films where it's like, they're stupid or you know they're for like mouth breathing, knuckle draggy nerds and stuff like that. But honestly, for me, it was just like a thing I watched I read as a kid, and I really wanted a movie of it, and I couldn't have that, and then I got to have a movie of it, and the movie wasn't really great, and eventually the movie was good. You know, everything in like steps, right? So that's why I like them. But I realized that a lot of people didn't have that. A lot of people didn't have that exposure to those comics. So for them, all it is just like superhero. They're all the same. Men in tights running around punching bad guys, and it's like, yeah, I get that too. I get like the oversimplification of it. Um, in the same way that like I guess I could say Harry Potter's trash, which even some Harry Potter fans would agree with that. Like Harry Potter's trash. I read all those books. Somehow I didn't have the same investment in those films, even having read those books. Those books were very important to me when I was a kid, but when the movies came out, I just didn't care anymore. Oh man, I watched most of them, but I did burn out a bit with how they were. Bye, Diz. You're talking about the Harry Potter films, Ava? No, the Marvel movies. Oh, word up. Harry Potter movies were fine. I mostly went with friends who were fans. It was never really my thing. Um, hmm. I I loved those books, guys. Those books taught me how to read big books. I didn't learn how to read from reading those books, but like those books are huge for a kid. And I remember like any book over like 200 pages was not for me. And I remember reading those books and really like those books were pivotal for me. And I can say as a Harry Potter fan of the books, I did not watch all the movies. I didn't want to watch all the movies. The movies weren't interesting to me. Um, I don't like the Harry Potter universe. I can now admit it was it was never really that great to me. It was just something to read that was consistent. Something having like a series of books that was sequential. Something felt very. I felt very accomplished reading like, oh, I'm on book 4 of the Harry Potter series. Felt good, you know. But alas, you know, I didn't watch all the movies. Boy, do I feel bad for the Harry Potter fandom, says Hidoko Pro. I don't feel bad for them. Screw them. I'm joking, of course. People are very upset with J.K. Rowling. But, I think if you like a thing, you like the fried chicken, you like the wizard book, you like the video game, you like the comic, you like the mattress, and then you learn that the person that made the thing is, like, kind of trash. It's like, yeah, alright. I'm pretty sure most of the people that make most of the things I like are garbage people. Just kind of is annoying, right, when you have to see them. J.K. Rowling be active. That woman is active. I only read the first book, says Ava. Oh, I want to say it gets better, but it doesn't. So, you stopped at a good time. I hope it didn't seem like I was judging y'all for liking or discussing it. It's okay, Lindsay. It's alright. I've definitely felt excluded by the conversations in the stream also, so I totally get where you're coming from. It's like boring, right? It's like boring when you have zero input on what's being like fervently discussed. Ended up reading a series of unfortunate events instead, which is arguably oh, I've never compared these two before, so that's actually really interesting. I wanted to say that a series of unfortunate events is a, a worse story, better written, if that makes sense. Like, the story's way dumber, but it's just so much better written that it's compelling. A thing that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is telling a bad story well and telling a good story poorly. Um, I think that that those can be applied to both those movies. Harry Potter was like actually a pretty decent story that was told horribly. Like, in my opinion, like it was just it didn't feel good to consume, but you kind of understood the world and the story. Series of Unfortunate Events is like that story. It's not really about anything, but man, is the language beautiful and fun. It's like almost like whatever. Anyways, if you've read them, you've read them. If you haven't read either, but you've seen the Harry Potter movies and you've seen the Series of Unfortunate Event movie or TV show, you kind of get what I'm saying. One is just so much more stylistic, the way it's told, the way it's shown, the way it's portrayed, and it's not really telling you anything that's that amazing. Whereas Harry Potter is telling you about amazing things in a kind of like whatever way. Alpha wants to know how the show was. I loved the show. I loved it. I loved that show so much. In fact, I'd forgotten about it until Ava brought it up, but Harry Potter's a better story, but the prose is boring. Oh my god, Ava, did you say that after I said basically that? Or are we just the same? Are we on the same wavelength? That's actually really cool. Sometimes you're just unable to chime in on a discussion. That's okay. Like, I don't know jack about Harry Potter. Honestly, Umbe, I read all the books. I don't know anything about Harry Potter. I know it's just some random stupid kid. He ends up being a wizard. For a second, he thinks he likes this Chinese witch at the school. That kind of gets written out after a while. And then he, like, smashes his best friend's little sister. And the bad guy dies. And, oh, well, I think I've done the whole thing. Anyways, yeah, it wasn't very good. The show is amazing. The books are, the books are the books. The books are great. The books are gospel, but the show is incredible for a series of unfortunate events. Um, oh. Oh, I feel you, Lindsay. It's more of a question of fatigue, which I totally understand. Hmm. Why did he let him? So many things happen in Harry Potter. So many things happen in Harry Potter, guys. So many things. So many marvelous things. I don't know. Someone has a wand and they. But the part that stuck with me as a teenager was the fact that Harry, like, is just regularly hooking up with his best friend's little sister, and that isn't even a thing that like I could like accept magic and I could accept everything, like everything about the world. I'm like, oh, freaking giants, and like, oh, is that a Pegasus, a unicorn? Something about like that just That messed me up reading that. I did not I that messed me up. Anyways, and I understand, how the world works. Like people do that all the time. People are always doing that. I guess I don't know. Not my community, but people be doing that. But goodness gracious, Harry, why? There were so many witches at that school. There were so many that weren't. Chicken that was the fifth movie with no context. Don't worry, but you don't need context for those movies. I didn't watch Inkheart though, Ava. I didn't watch that. Uh, uh, why are you doing that? That's that's awful. Yeah, and the movies, whatever. She's more interested in him than everything. She's a fan. They make that very clear the first time he meets her. She's like a Potter stan. Uh, Why did nobody tell him to not do that? Anyways, I do need to wrap. I do need to wrap this up. We just concluded 3 hours of basically no music. This has been just a like a forum at this point. I'm so sorry. I want to apologize to everybody for letting it get this bad. But Harry Potter's trash. Don't be like him. Um, she's obsessed with him, Ava. If you're hanging out with your homie, I think there's a lot of like I'll say this and then we'll wrap things up. I think there's a lot of times where authors will write from the perspective of perspectives they don't quite understand. Like a 40-year-old man writing from the perspective of a 14-year-old girl in a book, and it just feels a little off. Sometimes it doesn't, right? And that's magic, right? That's just how, I guess, in touch that person is with other people and other narratives. But Harry Potter, being a teenage boy, never behaved like one. And as a teenage boy who was reading the Harry Potter books, it was very weird to me. But knowing the author, it make a lot of Harry Potter's decisions make sense, you know? A lot of it makes sense. The manly dude from the dude school in the prom movie totally deserved Hermione more than Harry. Oh god. Oh no. Yeah, thank you, Ava. Oh. Yeah, his name was Victor Crumb. His name was Victor Crumb. I don't like how much I know about this, but yeah, you're making very good points. I'm gonna talk about Bandcamp. Bandcamp is the platform that my music is on. I'm thinking about whenever I do music again, I'm probably gonna favor Bandcamp. Like my music will probably be available on Bandcamp maybe before it's available other places. I like that Bandcamp actually gives me the most amount of money for my music, and I also like that I can sell physicals of things through Bandcamp, which if I'm gonna do physicals in the future, that might be where you get it from. Omni is a Harry Potter stan. You know who I liked, Lindsay? There was this ghost. There was this ghost in Harry Potter. It was a dead girl that would hang out in the boys' bathroom, and I guess she would just chill in there. Her name was Moaning Myrtle, and as a kid, I remember reading that and being like, "That's what I want. That's what we need more of. We just need more freaking ghosts hanging out in the bathrooms." I'm not making a joke. I did really like. I was like super into Moaning Myrtle. I thought that was like it for me. She was a ghost, so kind of spooky. She was dead, so she wasn't gonna go away. I guess she couldn't get hurt or anything. She couldn't die again. Also, she was all. Remember when Harry Potter's in the tub and she's like hanging out? It's like a. This is. I'm upsetting people on the street. You should watch Toilet Bound Hanako-san then. Oh, that's okay. Um, I used to have a thing for ghosts, Um, I know a lot of other people were like really into like vampires and like girls were like, Twilight baby. I really like ghosts. I was like, anytime like the girl showed up with the long hair and like the nightgown, like skittering around, like killing people, I was like, that's it, that's the one. And so in Harry Potter, they had one, and she would hang out in the one place where I was the most comfortable, which was the bathroom. And so I was like, that's sick. Hang out with her in the bathroom. We talk shop. I don't know if you can make out with a ghost, but I was like, maybe that would happen. And then I would leave, and from the way I saw it, she couldn't leave the bathroom. So I knew exactly where to find her all the time. Very reliable. Very good. Ghost scared alpha when they were a kid. But yeah, I really like Moaning Myrtle. I didn't make it far enough into the movies to actually see what her character looked like, but I kind of don't want to because if she doesn't look like freaking uh, like 19, if she doesn't look like oh no, if she doesn't look like 1989 Shelley Duvall, I don't care because in my brain that's what she looked like. Because I was also really into Shelley Duvall at the time. What up, Ava? We've returned to the psychotherapy portion of the stream. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I'm over it. I'm not that into ghosts anymore, but it was definitely a thing when I was a teenager. Um, do they have sex in the movie Ghost? Cyber, have you seen the movie Ghost with, I think it's Patrick Swayze? Do they have sex? Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Groove, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. Ooh, and they have a different one there. I will be here tomorrow, guys. They do. See, that's a good love story. If I could get that, I might watch that. I might watch that. I won't make it a pizza party movie, but I definitely would like to see that scene. That's so cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. If people could have romantic relationships with ghosts, I would be so done with living like flesh and blood people. It would be only ghosts from here on out. I feel like they get it. They get it. No sex in Ghostbusters though. Missed opportunity. Wasn't there a section in Ghostbusters where like somebody's getting like from like a ghost, an expletive from a ghost? Didn't that happen? Did I make that up? Did they edit that in? Somebody who's seen Ghostbusters, please tell me that. Yeah, yes, yes. Wait, Ghost X Omni soundtrack. Didn't that happen? He gets hit from a ghost. Thank you, Hadoka bro. Yeah. No, there is Ghost X and Ghostbusters. Thank you. Oh, I was actually a little scared because when you said there was no sex in the movie, I thought that maybe my like sick brain somehow like took my teenage ghost fetish and like put it in the movie. But no, I'm pretty sure that happens. Bustin' makes them feel good, man. I gotta listen to that song now. Gotta do that. I'm not on my Ghostbusters lore then, says Umbe. Yeah. No, it's dope. It was played for comedy, says Cyber. It was. It was supposed to be a joke, but I wasn't laughing. I was wishing and a hoping. Scary Movie 3 has Ghost Sex. That's different, Leon. Don't do that. Don't mention those movies. Don't mention those movies. You can't bring that into the stream. Because that. It's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be romantic, like in Ghost, right, Cyber? It wasn't funny in Ghost, was it, Cyber? It was romantic, right? Like something you could really like sink your teeth into. Like, I gotta rewatch that movie. In Ghost, it was a romance scene. Thank you, Cyber. There was I saw a YouTube. This might get like a little. Actually, I'm not gonna mention that because that can be kind of upsetting if I mention that specific thing. But there are people who think that they've had sex with ghosts, and they have fascinating things to say, and I worry about them. I worry about them. Um, I think that's it, guys. I'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow is the production stream. Tomorrow's the production stream. How am I gonna do that, guys? It's gonna be so hot in here. I'm just gonna have to have my like little cooler unit on because it is going to be hot with like my computer and everything running. But tomorrow's a production stream. If you do like production, please come in. I think that I'm going to spend only a little bit of time on Dropout, but I want to start something new because I spent some time mixing Dropout a couple of days ago, and I feel like I'm getting it right where I want it before I can leave it. Kind of like all the other songs. What I'm doing for a lot of songs lately is I'm getting them up until like 80, 70, 80%, and I'm leaving them there and then moving on so that I have like a bunch of songs that just need like, the last push through to complete them. Um, I think that it's definitely still going to be the 6 hour long stream. There is no pizza party tomorrow. I'll let you guys know when another pizza party is being planned, so you guys can chime in on the I guess the voting or the polling or whatever. Um, Alpha's Alpha. Don't say that. I think Marvel has Ghost Sex in it, says Umbe. Um, I don't think it does. But if it does, we're watching it for a pizza party. It's Gunna with the Vision Gun. Holy crap. Okay. No more Marvel talk. Lindsay is here. So we're going to figure out what the movie is probably maybe next week. I'm going to allow 3 movie. There's only so many people on the stream. I'm only allowing 2 movies. As far as the finalists, there's only going to be 2 movies. You guys can name movies. I will pick 2 out of however many movies are named, and then we can vote on those 2. I feel like there just isn't enough people here for us to have like 5 movies to vote from. There isn't enough people to have that. So we're gonna do it on 2. Yeah, and then that's it. Hopefully you come for tomorrow's stream. Should be fun. But if not, I do hope you enjoy your weekends, guys. How's moving cast? I know you meant Howl's Moving Castle. I don't know if I want to watch a Ghibli film in the stream because the reason is because I want to have fun. And I don't mean that to say that like Studio Ghibli films aren't fun. They're just like, however you feel about them, well, I feel like they're masterpieces, and I kind of just want to like consume those. Like, I have to be in the right space, and I feel like the pizza party is a very like wisecracking, goofing space, and I don't want that. I don't want that on that movie. Kraus says, "Play Hush Hour right, please." Crowd, you gotta teach me how to play Hush Hour. I don't know how to play this song. I'd only watch Ponyo again, and that's because I laugh at the stuff I shouldn't laugh at in that, says Umbe. Wait. Finally somebody else has watched MFKZ? I've seen that. Wait, did somebody else say they saw it? Hold on, let me scroll really quick. I saw that in theaters. I watched MFKZ the other day and it was pretty dope, says Alpha. I watched that in theaters, Alpha. I watched it in theaters. That movie was decent. It did a lot of things I like. There was a lot of things that were like just technically wrong with the, not wrong, but like technically weird about the movie that didn't make sense to me. Like the audio mixing, the music was really quiet at certain points when it clearly was not supposed to be. And then other points, like you couldn't hear dialogue. I don't know. Maybe something was wrong with the theater I saw it in. The movie Rex criteria is it has to be old, and I prefer to be something that is lighthearted and action. Action being kind of a light, like it can be like can have like comedic active parts in it, but I don't want to look at like Schindler's List or something like that. I don't want to look at something that's going to either bum me out or that I need to take super seriously. Not because I don't like movies like that, but just because I feel like with the mood of the pizza party, it won't be great. Um, Crow has an ever-present problem with the way that I play Hush Hour. Crow, I made Hush Hour, and as somebody who made it, I have to say there is no right way to play it. It is an improv-based song. Now, if the version of Hush Hour that you are particularly fond of or connecting to is the version from the music video or the version that I put up on Twitter, those are just still improvs that got like frozen in time. I am sorry. It, I am sorry that I don't play it the same way every time, but I mean, I don't really play any of my songs the same exact way every time. I'm not doing this intentionally to spite you. I I do apologize. I like the way I play it. I'm sorry. Hmm. But I'll start playing it again. If I play it quote unquote wrong this time again, you know I'm doing what I can. I'm doing what I can. Oh, you're just joking. Or no? Is it? But in all seriousness, though, crowd, is it the recorded version? Is it the version from the music video? What version are you? Is the version that you like? What the heck? What is that an emoji of, Leon? What the heck is that? What is that? Bye, Alpha. Oh, good luck with that, Alpha. I just had car trouble like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I can do that. Cyber's voting Casper the Friendly Ghost. And we're doing Ghost theme. It's too soon, Cyber. If we watch a ghost movie, everybody's gonna make fun of me and say that I have like that I'm like hot for Casper or something like that. Or at least the people that were in this stream. The one with Jack Black? Rihanna? Cyber's hot for Christina Ricci. Hmm. Hold on. Hold on. For some reason, Christina Ricci isn't ringing a bell. Wait. Oh. Oh! Ah! Okay, alright. Yeah, I know who that is. Oh, man. Oh, right. That's right. Cool. Um, uh, girl had a five head. She was in Casper and she played the girl in the Adams Family. Yeah, that's what I remember her mostly for is Wednesday or whatever, Adams Family. Yo, Five Head puts in work. Five Head, you can work a Five Head. I mean, we've seen it. All right, the episode where the kid touches a grandfather clock and gets trapped in time still scares me. He didn't do anything wrong, says Umbe, talking about Goosebumps, I think. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Why did it seem like you accidentally saw something vile? Uh, I didn't see anything vile. I just had a friend who was obsessed with Wednesday from the Addams Family, and they would like draw a lot of really weird, like, kind of upsetting things. I hope they would draw like. Yo, I hope she's okay. Actually, that girl was wild. Anyways, she really liked Wednesday. Why is Christina Ricci though? For some reason, just that name sound like I feel like I've heard that name. Like somebody said it in, like in a joke or in a song. Black Snake Moan. Uh oh. Wait, hold on. Have you guys seen Black Snake Moan? I'm about to ruin my whole day real quick. Hold on. Yep. Yep. Yeah, my day's ruined. Have you guys seen Black Snake Moan? Yeah, I was sad. I met her at the library to help her with her art. Whoa. That's really cool. Oh, no, not Christina Ricci. Just some really nice girl who was into yaoi. Yeah. My school library actually had yaoi in it for several months before it was taken out. I think they just didn't check the manga before they stocked it. So, everybody's got to have their yaoi, right? Everybody's got to have the big yaoi yaos. You know what they also had? They had something called uh my friend would always check out the same yaoi, but it was so nasty. It was so it was really beat up. But I mean, most school books are beat up. I don't think that necessarily implies any nefarious activity. But he, what was that manga that I would get? What was it called? It was like, hold on, was it Toshinden? Was it Battle Arena Toshinden, or am I thinking of something else? Battle Arena Toshinden is a video game. Wait, but was it a manga? Oh. No, it wasn't. It was an anime. It was a manga. This is it. This is it. Is it? No, it's not. Hold on. What was the anime that I had? I mean, my. Anyways, there was a manga there that was basically like, it was your typical manga, like, oh, we're at school and we all fight each other, and there was just like, a lot of violence, and it was pretty disgusting. But I remember checking that out. Our school was really weird. I think they just like had a lot of comic books. Like they had a comic book section, like a graphic novel section, but they didn't actually check like to see if there was like nudity or like you know, dismemberment and stuff like that in the comic book. So only when somebody reported it did it get taken out. But there was yaoi there for a second. Dude, an awful. Ugh. Why did she, Ava? Why was she really like just matter of fact about it, or was she like not shy at all? Like, hmm. I mean, I guess know what you want. Hmm. I mean, who's not into it? Who's not into yaoi? Right, Ava? I mean, it's like strawberries and wheat bread. Did she not have channel access also? Maybe she didn't have the internet, yeah. And then Ava ghosted her. That's sad. I don't feel comfortable with people using the term ghost in the stream. Let's not, let's not say ghost for a while. Um, hey, if that's your thing, let's chill. Get your freak on. Yeah. Get your freak on. Quiet. All right, I can't play anymore, guys. I already did Hush Hour. I'm gonna go ahead and get to cleaning. I have a lot of cleaning to do. I also have a lot of work to get done today. Um, so I appreciate you all for being in what was just too much of a stream. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta be better. I gotta be better at lassoing and corralling things back into a place of order. But the stream got away from me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I'll see you here tomorrow at 9 a.m. for a production stream. If you haven't been in one of those, you're in for a treat. If you have, you're in for a treat. But I'll see you guys then. Thank you, as always, for being respectful to me and polite to each other. Mm-mm-mm. Habba soothsayer. Mm-hmm.